Where did it go? Like I literally, I'm really frustrated to be honest. Like I don't even want to keep going right now. Like that's how annoyed I am to be totally honest. I'm gonna try to push through it though. But it's just like, it's just so frustrating to have to build up the stream again after literally losing that many people. I really hate the internet. I've never hated internet so much, dude. It's the most frustrating thing because I literally have to move. And like how much of an inconvenience is it that I have to move just to be able to have a working stream that every once in a while doesn't just cut out, right? And I lose like fucking like 7,000 people, bro. It's ridiculous. All right. We're back, everyone. Welcome back. Welcome back. Did I pin it? All right, there we go. Welcome back, everyone. We lost connection over on the internet, so it cut the stream. It's really frustrating. Nothing I can do to fix it. I'm honestly really annoyed right now, but I'm gonna try to push through it. To be totally honest, like it's just really frustrating to deal with. We just lost 4,000 people over on YouTube. Like that's amazing. Love that because we just have a random internet issue. That's really fun. Let me put a thumbnail up. Give me one quick second. There we go. Save. Perfect. All right. We're getting the stream going. Alrighty. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed in the TikTok screen. We were just looking for some debates, everybody. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed in the TikTok screen.
Parker, it's okay. You'll get through it. I love you. Say it back. I love you.
Appreciate you very much. Let's go on the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed in the TikTok screen. We were just looking for some debates. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
I'm 31.
Do you support Trump?
Yes.
What's your birth year?
94.
And if you could go back in time and you could either vote for Donald Trump or Kamala Harris, who would you rather vote for?
Donald Trump still.
Okay. Why do you support Trump?
Well, to be honest, I support him over Harris.
Yeah, why do you support Trump over Harris?
I'm not a big fan of how the Democrats run their party, to be honest.
Okay. Can you be specific?
Well, they're very secretive about things, and they hide stuff really good, to be honest. So it's really hard to get like stuff about them.
Can you name anything in specific?
Well, like specifically something like I do kind of know, like kind of fact a little bit was like BLM that they did.
Like what did we hide about BLM?
They were funding.
The DNC did not fund BLM.
Well, they fund Antifa, if I'm not mistaken. No.
Antifa is not an organization. Antifa, it literally just means anti-fascist.
I don't know. I could be wrong. Don't get mad.
I'm not mad at all. I literally just said it.
I'm just saying.
Are you trolling right now? Or are you like purposefully trying to rage bait because it's not working?
No, I'm
You're
not
just wasting our time.
Rage bait. I really just do not trust the Democratic Party.
Okay, be specific. On what?
Well, like you want to get like really specific, I guess. Not like saying something stupid like that. What I just said. Malcolm X even said, "Don't trust the Democrats." Have you ever looked that up?
Do you think Malcolm X would agree with you?
Right now?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, well then you're stupid, genuinely, because Malcolm X.
How?
Malcolm X definitely did not agree with you. Okay, Malcolm X would say that you support a racist.
No, he said...
That's exactly what Malcolm X would say, okay?
He didn't say anything about racists or anything not.
Yeah, he did. Malcolm X definitely said a lot about racists and how they're bad.
He said Do not trust the Democratic Party. And at the end of the day,
So although
I
he
don't
made a
really
claim
see
that
race.
that white liberals are not
Like,
to be
to be
trusted
honest, like
specifically, that's not a claim
I'm a
about the
mutt and
entire
a half.
Democratic Party or every single liberal. And would he say that about Kamala Harris? Probably not, actually, because
I
Kamala
was gonna
Harris is not a
say
white liberal.
I don't really see race because I'm a mutt and a half. I'm
Th-
white. I'm black. I'm Italian. I'm Mexican. Even like I got so many different things in me. It's not even funny. So I don't really see race.
That doesn't mean you
And
don't see race. How do you feel about your administration calling for specifically racial profiling? That's not quote unquote being colorblind.
well,
That's literally seeing race.
I'm saying I don't. That's not. You understand or no? What you're saying or no?
So do you agree with the Trump administration racially profiling?
Not really, but
Okay,
do I
but
agree with
you're
everything
still
that's
willing to
going
support
on
Trump even though he does this?
Do I agree with
So
everything that's
why is
going
this a
on with the
reason to
world?
not support the Democrats if you think that this is not a reason to support or to stop supporting Trump?
Pardon?
Yeah, if you think that this is a reason to not support Democrats, why is this not a reason to stop supporting Trump?
Because I think there's something bigger at play, to be honest, like at the end of the day.
Such as?
Everyone's so focused on the little thing. Well, not the little things, like it's really big shit. Like the whole Minnesota, the Renee, you know what I mean? Like that's all horrible, to be honest. But I think there's more at bay than all what's going on right now.
So then say
people
what
don't
specifically?
really
Talk
realize.
about that then.
Well,
What do you
why
want to
do you
talk
think
about?
Why do you think America's trying to get resources?
Because they are trying to
And
steal from other countries. Like that's what Trump
everyone
wants to do
seems
is
to
to steal
think
from other
that's the
countries.
money. The money's not worth anything, though, man.
That makes no fucking sense.
The American dollar is literally worth nothing. It's not backed by anything. It's
You're an
literally a
idiot.
note.
It is
It's a
worth
note.
something. If you didn't
It's a
think that the
note.
U.S. dollar was, it doesn't mean it's not worth anything. It is worth
It's an
something.
illusion that it's worth something. Yes, okay, it's worth something, but it's
You
an
could say that for
illusion. It's
literally anything. You could say that for gold.
That's actually a product that you can't just produce, kind of. Like, you know what I'm saying, or no?
What do you mean? You
Gold,
quite
you gotta
literally
mine
can.
this and that.
Yeah, that's producing
No,
gold,
I
by
can
the
just
way.
print. I can print. You can't print gold. Is what I'm trying to explain. You understand what I'm trying to get at?
What's your point? We want the ability to be able to change the level of currency that exists in order to be able to affect inflation, deal with population changes, etc.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to explain. Well, if that collapses, like America's screwed. Because what's the world standard for currency?
Fiat
Do you
currency is
agree?
not an issue. You just don't understand economics.
Can you agree it's the American dollar around the world? Or no?
No, I don't think the U.S. dollar is the standard for the entire world. I think the standard depends
would
on the
you
country.
agree though that like everybody would say out of all the countries, all the major countries, U.S. is the standard, or no? Could you agree on that?
Definitely not now.
Okay, you're just saying that because
I'm not just saying that. I'm literally saying that because Europe, for example, doesn't take our science anymore. They don't.
No, I understand.
They
And
don't
they have
see
the
our
euro.
institutions to be reputable. I'm serious.
But if you have American dollar, like I'm trying to explain, but you don't get it because maybe I don't know. I don't want to be mean, but you travel. If you go travel, you can bring American currency anywhere, and they'll take it. That's what I'm trying to explain.
No, actually, everywhere does not take American currency. There are plenty of places
Okay,
and businesses around the world that will
I
not take it,
understand.
and you actually have
Yeah.
to trade for and do transfer of currency.
You want to get technical? There's some places, yeah, that just don't take it. Like when I was in the favelas walking around with the American dollar, they didn't want it, to be honest. And I was so confused. I was like, why don't you want the American dollars? They're like, no, I don't want it. And they're pushing me away. I was like, okay, some places that I guess is just not acceptable currency. But realistically, the country itself would accept the money. A lot of general countries. But like I'm trying to explain, if the money is not worth anything, and they know this, if like the world kind of like says to America, "Hey, yo, your money's not worth anything. You guys are screwed. Go figure it out." What are we gonna do?
That's not how it works, though. Because then the same thing could happen to everyone's currency, which doesn't make any sense. The reason why we see it as valuable currency is it's something that's going to reflect how you are treated in society. Other people will accept it. The reason why it's a valid currency is because it's accepted. That's why.
It's not worth anything, though.
It is.
Accepted or not. You can
It
say
is.
it is, but
the fact that it's accepted as currency means it's worth something, genius.
Statistically, in 1970 or 1971. That's when it
objectively
actually
speaking, it has a designated value. Like, literally. Like, you're just wrong.
You can go look this up. Richard Nixon screwed it up for the country. He ruined the gold standard.
The gold standard is not some amazing thing. You just don't understand economics.
Like, no, you don't understand economics.
I don't understand this whole thing against the gold standard. It makes no sense.
To pay with gold.
Wait, it makes no sense to be in support of the gold standard. Like, literally, there's no argument.
You can't print gold. That's what I'm trying to explain. You can print money. You can cause inflation with that. You can just say, "Oh, I'm a millionaire, billionaire," like what they've been doing for the past year. When I was growing up, you were probably just a kid.
Wait, so you just want? Wait, so by the way, let me clarify.
I didn't hear billions in the news. You used to hear millions. Very rarely you'd hear billions. Nowadays,
I understand. That's called inflation. Inflation's not necessarily bad. Inflation at the target rate is okay. There's no issue with that.
They're printing money that doesn't exist is what I'm trying to get at. So
hey, dude,
what bad or not?
What you're not understanding is that it's okay to have printed money.
That's not. No, not when it's not backed by anything.
Let me explain.
Because that's how it ruins. That would.
Shut the fuck up. Okay? All right? You understand that when we say that a currency has valuation, that means it will be accepted. Okay? It does have value. The idea that you need gold to back the notes is fucking stupid. There's literally decades of empirical evidence that indicates you don't need the gold to back the notes. And you can still have effective monetary systems and financial systems. That's what fiat currency has been predicated off of. It's totally acceptable to do. It's actually more efficient. Okay? So it's important to utilize fiat currency. Actually, it's preferable to do so because then you can change the level of money supply according to different environmental conditions that exist. That's a good thing. Also, let's suppose that we live in a future world where we get to a point where there literally is asteroid mining. Now, this is going to be in the next 100, 200 years, and that's commonplace. Gold will likely have differences in the level of value because of the change in supply that will be irrespective of specific determinations from top economists, okay? The reason why we want fiat currency is because we can then change and control what the money supply is. That's an important quality to be able to have access to.
That's the problem, though. They're not supposed to be able to change and control if it's our money supply, if the government has control over it.
Yes, they should be able to control that, and that's a good thing that they have the ability to control that.
Not really, because it makes everyone else less and the government more.
Okay, what about, so you want gold companies to control the main currency we use? Literally.
I'm not saying like
because gold companies control the supply of gold. Do you agree?
I'm trying to say that's a.
Hey, do you agree? Gold companies control the supply of gold.
You're not understanding what I'm trying to explain. Oil is also a product that's worth something, right? You can't just produce oil out of nothing. Trees, timber.
Yeah,
that's
this is like predicating our listen. This is like predicating our currency on any other type of commodity. Why don't we do it with silver?
They do with silver.
Okay. Why not with diamond?
You're not understanding what I'm saying, though, Parker.
I'm asking why not?
Like what? Why
because
not?
Whoever controls the mines, specifically for whether it be gold or what other currency you use, they effectively will control the currency and what happens to it. So, if inevitably speaking, there's going to be someone that controls it, wouldn't we want it to be the top economists? that actually know what the fuck
I
they're doing.
understand there's going to be stuff to control it, but like I said, there's product and supply, like supply and demand kind of thing.
Yeah.
Money
Thank you for
doesn't
telling me there's
exist.
supply and demand. I really appreciate that. I didn't know that.
Money doesn't exist, like I was saying, but you
Money
keep
does
saying you're like it's
exist.
worth. When it gets to the point where the American dollar, like you ever look Germany up in the 30s, like before they actually did that thing and they had to fix all their shit out. You have to go with a wheelbarrow full of money to get a loaf of bread. That's what the American dollar is going to be worth. You understand or
So
no?
you think that we have hyperinflation?
No, when it's worth nothing.
No.
Like
You
the
don't
loaf
even
of
know what
bread is gonna be
hyperinflation is, buddy.
the loaf of bread is going to be worth more than the
Yeah,
money.
that's because of
is what I'm trying to
hyperinflation and the
explain.
price changes like every day. That's hyperinflation. We don't have that.
Okay, not possible. That's what people said before.
Yeah, so we don't have hyperinflation.
When the money is not worth anything, as what
Wait,
I'm
by the way,
trying to
did
say
they
is
have a
gonna
gold standard?
happen. They did in 1970.
And yet they still had
that's when-
hyperinflation?
Then they didn't. They
So
actually used to
they didn't have a gold standard.
They used to take gold from people. Actually, did you know that?
So they did have a gold standard, and they still saw hyperinflation.
What are you talking about in that sense?
Did they have a gold standard?
America?
No, Germany.
No. See, you're confusing me. Like you're saying, did they have a gold standard? And
You don't
you're
think
just saying,
Germany, at the time in which they had hyperinflation, had a gold standard?
probably not. I'm not an expert on that. Do you know? Are you gonna go look it up for us?
I'm looking it up for us.
Thank you.
Yeah, they did. Yeah.
I would figure because it's worth something, gold.
Yeah, they had a gold standard, yet they still saw... Yeah, wait, by the way, had a gold standard, yet they still saw hyperinflation. What's your point?
That was
If your
after.
whole point is that we're going to get rid of the possible chance of hyperinflation by specifically having a gold standard, well, that's not true. Historically speaking, there have been countries with gold standards that saw hyperinflation.
That's not what I'm trying to explain. The German dollar was worth nothing. They did that on purpose, and they said that they did that to them after World War One. It was like a punishment. You can go look that up.
I know what you're trying to talk about.
That's what caused that hyperinflation. The rest of the world penalized them, right? What if that happens to America is what I'm trying to explain. That's why he's trying to get all the resources he possibly can. Because it doesn't matter who's the leader, it doesn't matter Democrat or this, people are just going to turn and hate America. Because if you haven't realized, America's a very hateful country.
So you're saying we should just steal from other countries because there's a possible chance that other countries might try to do it to us. Is that your view?
They're not going to do it to us. They're just, what are we going to have left over if there's nothing?
So I'm asking you, what is your justification for stealing from other countries?
Because wouldn't you want to live in America and still have something?
I think we'll have something without having a gold standard. I think we have less if we have Trump in office.
Do you really think so? Did you really
Yes.
think the first time he was in office he was going to push the red button? Were you one of those guys as well?
I think it's a possibility. I don't think it's something that's likely going to happen, though.
Like, come on, man. Everyone makes him seem like he's way worse.
He threatened World War III by literally saying he asked the military to draw up plans to invade Greenland. It's obviously a possibility.
Yeah. And like, what do you want me to do about it? I'm just a citizen.
Support the guy that is literally undermining our country, our democracy, our rule of law, our core American values.
There's some things that, we just don't agree on. We can't agree on everything. Did you agree on every single policy Obama did? Did you agree on every single policy that...
I'm not asking you to agree on every policy. What I'm saying is that he's done enough to disqualify him from your support, right?
What was the first president you voted for?
Biden.
Biden?
Mm-hmm.
So you didn't even vote for Obama?
I wasn't old enough.
I voted for him.
Good for you. I was like literally a minor, so I couldn't.
No, I was just wondering. But like, let's just say, I don't know. I don't trust the Democrats. Like I'm telling you, I don't
You
trust
know, I
them.
was 11 years old when the second Obama election happened.
Oh, wow. I remember Bush. He was my
Okay.
favorite.
So I'm asking you, like, what specifically is your point?
Uh, in what sense? Like I'm trying to tell you, if our dollar is screwed, we're done. And
Yeah,
Trump
and Trump
realizes
is
that.
increasing
And people are
inflation
trying to
because
say
of
he's trying to
tariffs.
get.
Trump is making tariffs worse off. By the way, I just want to let you know, Donald Trump, since he's got in office, we've seen the worst year of job growth in the past 4 years. We've saw unemployment go up. We saw manufacturing investment decline every single quarter of his administration. We've saw upward
Yeah,
pressure
but
on inflation because of the fact
can I
that what there would have been if Harris were in office, because Donald Trump
can
imposed
I
tariffs that put
can I
upward pressure
say
on prices.
something?
Go ahead, buddy.
Just with the inflation and all that. No, not with the inflation. With the job rates. You're like, oh, there's been more unemployment. Has there also been more people well, not rioting, but protesting since Trump's been in office? Can you say that? Because like I don't remember when Biden, the Trump people going around and be like, fuck you, and all that stuff. You know
I
what I mean?
remember that happening. January 6th, hello? Donald Trump
Uh,
pardoned the people who assaulted
that
police
was
officers
one
on January 6th.
that was one day, and I'm talking about
It wasn't
I
just
don't know
one
how
day.
long.
Like Trump,
Cities and
Trump idiots have been doing this since
Chicago.
then.
I'm talking San Francisco, LA. I'm
What about it?
talking even a little bit in New York. Like, what about all these protests that are happening? I'm seeing a
Yeah,
lot.
yeah.
Doing
What
a
about it?
lot.
We protest. What's wrong? Mostly
So you
peaceful.
guys not working, I
We
guess,
we protest because that's how we get action.
and they
Because
don't
we're
go to
actually
work.
we
So is that
protest
why
because
the
we're fighting for
unemployment
things.
rate's going up?
What do you guys fight for?
Is that why the unemployment rate's going up? Maybe because
No,
like people are
no. It's
just
because Donald Trump imposed tariffs.
uh it's quite possible. It's like with the whole economy, with the tariffs and the this and the that. But there's other factors and
Yeah,
reasons
there
too.
can be other factors to take into
You
consideration,
can't
but
just
the
say
tariffs are
tariffs.
clearly making it worse.
So that's the reason why the whole economy's crap right now. Tariffs, as you're saying,
I never said the whole
everything's
economy across the
everything
board is crap, but it is
everything's
doing worse than
garbage.
what it was.
Worse
Yeah,
than I
literally,
was.
Trump made it worse off.
The first time he was in office, he was doing better than Biden. Then Biden came in and kind of ruined it, my opinion.
Okay, what did Biden do to make
And
things worse? Name one policy that he passed to make it worse.
I don't know about policies, but I just felt like
Okay,
just
interesting.
like his demeanor, like with the
Think of the galaxy. His
the
demeanor, so
immigrants
like
and
his
stuff.
vibes, right?
No, when he let all the people in, man, and then he also threatened the Texas governor if they don't let the people in, he's gonna come in with the National Guard. Do you
Are you
remember
saying
that?
Biden?
I was like, yeah, he did. You can go
So, by
look
the
this
way,
up.
that's because no, what you're not understanding is that he's specifically saying
What
that
what am I?
it is federal law to specifically enforce the border law. It is not state, okay? It's not up to the state. So, he was saying that they don't have jurisdiction to do that, and they were limiting federal border agents from being able to do their job because they were trying to use the state to prevent them from doing so.
Yeah, but that's not right, man.
That is right because it's federal
That
immigration
how
law.
is that how is that right? So you're
Okay,
gonna
so let me
say
ask you this
federal
question. Okay,
immigration?
how about this? Watch this. Newsom, now he wants to allow for undocumented immigrants to get into the country. Okay? Through California. Should he be allowed to do that because it's up to the states and not up to the federal government?
I don't know. Well, let me put it this way.
Well, I'm just asking, like, should he be
I
allowed
said
to
it
do
to
that?
this.
Should Gavin
I
Newsom
said
be
it.
allowed to let undocumented immigrants into the state of California
I
because
said
of
it.
the fact that it's up
I
to the
said it
states,
like
not up to
this
the federal
to other
government under your
people.
perspective?
I said it like this to other people, and they got mad when I was like, "Oh, what if I break into your house?" And they'd be like, "It's not the same because it's a house." And it's like, okay,
Can I
what if
explain to
I
you why
come?
it's different?
What if I come into your backyard and I just don't want to leave?
Can I
What are you
explain to
gonna
you why
do?
that's different?
What are you gonna do?
I'll tell you.
If I come into your
I would call
backyard,
the
not your
cops.
house.
Want to know why? Because it's private property. There's a distinction between private property, specifically in personal property, and the country as a whole. Okay, let me explain to you. I apologize. Let me
That's
explain
not
to you
the
why.
same.
Please stop speaking and let me explain to you why. Is that okay?
Yeah, you can go. Sorry.
Okay. There's no restrictions on the border between California and Nevada. Do you agree?
That doesn't mean anything.
I'm just asking, can you agree?
Even if I can agree, there's no that you walk right probably, but that doesn't mean anything. That's still breaking a law.
Okay. I'm just asking you if you agree or not. I don't want to hear anything else. Do you agree?
I agree. Yes.
Okay.
Okay. Sorry.
Does that mean people from Nevada can just walk into my house whenever they want to?
No.
Just because I advocate for no border check between Nevada and California, does that mean that they can just walk into my house whenever they want to? Think of the oxy. Okay. That's why personal property is treated differently than borders of a state or a country that you're in. Because just because you don't believe in border restrictions between states doesn't mean you believe people from other states should just be able to walk into your house. That's
Parker,
incoherent to say that they are viewed the same.
The fact that you think that you actually own a house, though, is crazy. Because if you don't pay said taxes on said house, even if you own said house, it's not your house at the end of the day, private property or not, right? Isn't it the government's? Can you agree on that?
No.
Can you agree on that?
I don't think because you pay taxes, it's the government's.
Basically, if you don't pay taxes on that house, they'll take it.
Because you're engaging in tax evasion.
How is that tax evasion? You bought the house, right?
Yeah, that doesn't mean you don't have taxes. You have sales tax when you buy things. He's like, why do I have to follow the law? I thought you guys were arguing that for undocumented immigrants. How about you look in the own mirror for 1 second?
You truly don't own the house, is what I'm trying to get at. Even though, yeah, you pay the taxes, at the end of the day, the government can
Irrelevant point. Why are you pivoting and trying to use this point?
I'm just saying. I'm not pivoting.
Completely irrelevant point. You're not right, and it makes no sense for you to bring it up.
Okay, well, fair enough. But like I was saying, if we're coming to your backyard, you were saying private property, if I'm not correct, right? Well, it's still coming into a country. Why do we have passports?
Why do we have passports?
Yeah, never mind just immigration. Why do we have passports? If I want,
dude, I don't have an issue with there being a legal immigration process. I want the legal immigration process to go significantly quicker, and I want to provide a legal pathway to undocumented immigrants who are already in the country who have not committed a violent crime or bad crime.
If I wanted to go over to Mexico, why can't I just?
Hey, repeat to me what I just said.
Or the Mexican authorities?
Hey, Mitch, repeat to me what I just said.
I didn't hear him. Sorry.
Okay, because you're not trying to actually engage in a conversation with me.
No, I was talking over you. I'm sorry.
Yeah, because you're not trying to engage in a conversation with me. So either engage with the conversation or leave the live. I'm serious. This is ridiculous. Okay?
No, I repeat it. Sorry.
I believe in there being a legal process. I just want that legal process specifically to be significantly quicker. And I want to provide a legal pathway for undocumented immigrants who have not committed violent crimes or bad crimes so that they can be where they don't have to leave the country. So that they can specifically go through that legal process.
Well, the process, I guess, is a lot better than what it was. Because, like, when my people came here, it was pretty bad. You had to get sponsored to be here, you know that? If you didn't have a job lined up, they wouldn't even allow you to even do the paperwork to come here.
What's your point?
I'm trying to say, like, it is faster. Like, how many people?
No, it's not. Several years and tens of thousands of over $10,000 is not easy. Okay,
how many
I want it to be quicker and I want it to be safe.
How many people can you possibly process, though? You're talking about millions of people trying to come in.
Yeah, I don't have an issue with millions of people coming to a country.
They can't process them.
Yeah, they can. Put the billions
It's
of
not
dollars that you're
enough
putting into militarizing ICE into literally making the legal process of immigration go quicker. We have all this money for militarizing ICE, but none of it to make the legal process go quicker.
because that would not really benefit the country. I'm not saying it as in like, oh, the people are bad, but the more people doesn't mean better. You can go look at China and India, two of the countries that people just want to leave because there's too many people, man.
I do think that there should be more immigration, and I think that immigration has been beneficial to our economy. I can send you a study from the Cato Institute. Over the past 30 years, we've seen immigration lead to a $14.5 trillion reduction in deficits. Did you know that? So actually, our debt is literally significantly lower because of immigration. If we agreed with your policy that we should do less
people.
immigration, well, then we would have higher deficits. We'd have a lower GDP. We'd have lower productivity. We'd have a lower our lower employment rate, higher unemployment rate. We'd have worse off conditions in this country.
Yeah,
You
but
believe in making this country
understanding.
worse off because of your unwillingness to accept immigration as an incredible aspect of our economy, our society, our culture, and our way of life.
How many people do you think can fit in America?
How many could fit? The entire population of the globe could fit in the United States if we tried.
And live comfortably and safe. If you think America's bad now,
Well, if you want to say comfortably and safe, I believe that we could have a level of immigration up to 3 million people per year. That's around 3 times what we currently do.
the country's not even safe with the people we already have, man.
Yeah, because you elect the worst people into the position of presidency. Like the guy held civilly liable of sexually abusing a woman. You wouldn't let him legally enter the country if he was an immigrant trying to come here. But because he's trying to become president and he was born in this country, you think he should be president.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, that's literally what you argue for.
I'm arguing in a sense like if there's too many people, like there's a lot of things about it, what's going on. I told you it's bigger than what's
And
all
Tati
going on.
Sadi, thank you so much. I really appreciate the $100 on YouTube Super Chat. Thank you so much for the Brain Rot Defense Fund for Parker and the rest of us having to listen to this caller. Blink twice if you need help. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Give some W's for them in the comment section right now. I really appreciate it. Thank you. If you're on YouTube, hit that thumbs up. If you're on TikTok, tap the screen. For the people who are on YouTube, really appreciate if you hit that thumbs up. We had to, well, the stream actually got taken down because of my internet sucking, being horrible. And I'd really appreciate if you hit that thumbs up again because it helps push us back out there. We lost like 4,000 people. It was really annoying, and I'm so sorry about the internet. But we are back, so make sure to hit that thumbs up. Let's try to get to 1,000 likes real quick. Everyone are about 530 right now. Let's try to get to 1,000 if we can right now. I'd really appreciate it. Alrighty, continue, man.
I was gonna say, to be honest though, like I don't see eye to eye with you, but I do respect you. You're a pretty cordial person, and you're very respectful in arguments. I argue with, well, not argue, but debated with Johnny the other day. You know Johnny?
Mm-hmm.
And he was just really mean, man. And he was picking on someone. Never mind me. I was like, wow. Like I understand like funny and whatnot, but like there's a time where it's like it just comes down to bullying and stuff. And I even said that to him, and then I got blocked. I was like, man, I'm like, this is just bullying. I'm like,
Okay, if you call it out with Johnny, you should probably stop supporting Trump then.
Pardon?
You should probably stop supporting Trump then, right? Because, I mean, that's literally what Trump does. He had a nickname for every single person that he runs up against in order to degrade them.
He was picking on someone that couldn't defend themselves, and that's not right, man. That doesn't make him any better than anyone else. You know what I mean? And he was laughing. Like
how do you feel about Trump making fun of a disabled reporter?
Again, like I wasn't personally there, and I couldn't really do anything about it. So like I was there in that sense. So that's why I tried to say something, and I couldn't do anything about it apparently because I got blocked.
So you couldn't do anything about it?
No.
So it's no difference. Then why are you bringing it up on my live? You can't do anything about it.
Well, no, I was trying to explain like you're being nice, but I don't know.
Yeah, no, I get it. I get it. But like, I understand your point. But like, I mean, I don't think the way to litigate that is by saying that like, oh, someone else is too rude. Because to be totally honest with you, like people do that with me all the time, right? Like they'll go on Dean's live and be
They
like,
say
Dean,
you're
I
rude?
like you, Dean. I think you're so much nice. I think you're super nice. But Parker is so rude. He's so mean and interrupts people too much.
Well, it depends on
People
the
do that with me
energy,
all the
I
time, so
guess.
I don't know. I don't. I'm not. I tend to be like, I don't know if I know if you're actually representing that necessarily correctly, or if it's just that like he blocked you and you're mad about that or something.
No, I'm not mad. I was just saying, like, I don't know. Maybe I was just explaining like my experience with talking with someone else who's, uh, like you know what I mean, established like you. That's
Yeah,
what I
and
mean.
I'm being a little bit too literal and over explaining, so it's confusing you a little bit. I get it. I understand. Yeah, and I think it's important to have patience and be nice in most circumstances with people who deserve the niceness. It depends on the
Mm.
circumstance, though. Some people don't.
No, honestly, that's what's wrong with this world, man.
What is?
Could you agree on that? People are just like just cruel nowadays.
Yeah, people are very cruel nowadays. But the thing is, we have to do our best to stand up against people being cruel to prevent it from happening so that we have a broader culture that limits it from happening. And I just don't think that happens when you support people like Trump. Like, I think that Democrats and other types of politicians are significantly more cordial than Trump is. And when you support people like Trump, I think you're kind of undermining the idea of being cordial and allowing people to be more cruel and honestly rewarding people for being cruel.
I guess in a sense, you're not wrong.
Okay. Well, is there, I guess, like, given that you agree with that, like, what gets you to still support Trump?
Uh, I just I really hope that, like what I was saying, not as true, but if things collapse, I hope he's trying to do good for the American people.
But what tells you he is doing good for the American people?
I told you he's trying to get resources because resources are worth things.
Resources are
Gold,
worth things. I get
yeah,
resources are worth
oil.
things. I don't understand how we have more
Well,
resources because Trump's in presidency. I would argue domestic manufacturing has gone down in terms of domestic manufacturing investment. Since Trump's got in office, every single quarter of his administration, we've saw real business investment decline since Trump got in office. So, like, what's better off? We've seen the worst year of job growth in the past 4 years.
you speak really fast, man.
I'm sorry.
They know we got time to debate. This guy's debates like we're on a clock over here. Um, but like I was saying, if what happens if everything collapses?
Things are more likely to collapse because of Trump. What happens if everything collapses? That's like saying, what happens if there's a zombie apocalypse? Okay, I don't know. I have fucking chaos.
No, I get it. Like you don't know whatnot, but the American dollar might collapse in a sense. I'm
There's
trying
no
to
good
explain.
evidence of that, by the way. I just want to be clear. Even though I heavily disagree with Trump's policies, there's no good evidence that the U.S. dollar is going to collapse. We're not anywhere near that. I just want to be very clear how bad hyperinflation is and how far away from hyperinflation we are.
I'm
Like that
not
just needs
saying
to
it's
be
going to
clear.
collapse
The
like
level of
tomorrow,
inflation that we
but
dealt with under Biden isn't anywhere near the level of hyperinflation. Hyperinflation is a totally different beast, right? And it's something that I hope that we never experience here in the United States. It is a really bad thing. It is a really, really bad thing.
I understand people are saying they think it's going to collapse like tomorrow. It's not going to collapse tomorrow, but
No,
when
no,
the
no,
rest
no.
of the world
If
realizes
there's
it's
something that's
worth
going to
nothing,
collapse, it's like support for like the Trump administration and for how things are working in terms of like the Epstein files and things like that. Not like our economy is going to collapse or like the dollar is not going to work or something. Like those are ridiculous things to say.
the whole world's in shock and awe right now. Never mind just America. It's not good anywhere, man.
Okay, so then why do you want to make it worse off by putting Trump in that position? Because he's actively distanced ourselves from our allies, made us look weaker on a world stage. He embarrasses us to countries all around the world by making us look
He
stupid.
does, but he also freaking puts people in place and check.
Who?
Who are you gonna get? Who are you gonna get someone to do that?
I don't know what you mean he puts people in check. That makes no sense. He didn't do that with Putin. He didn't get the Russia-Ukraine war over in 24 hours. So who's he putting in check?
You're gonna tell that guy what to do?
Yes, if I were in the position of the presidency, I would literally be bullying Putin. Yes, I'm not trolling. International pressure, direct focus pressure, support of the entirety of Europe against him to fucking force him to submission. That's how you go against Putin. Putin's not going to come to the table with you unless you give him something that he wants. Okay? You have to force him to the table.
Why he's doing that, by the way, and I totally disagree with what he's doing because it's bad, but do you understand why he's doing that?
Because he wants to expand Russia and he thinks that they should have the Soviet Union.
When they signed over and they did, what was it, 1992 or something like that, and the Soviet Union fell, they promised they wouldn't go anything, was it east of Poland, the NATO, and they lied. Go look at
that was with the Soviet Union, genius. They signed that over when they specifically collapsed.
No. When they signed it,
you're talking a few years later? Are you talking about 94 or something?
NATO said that they wouldn't take any of those countries, and then they ended up taking it. Ukraine was the last
with the
country
Soviet Union, not
list.
Russia. With the Soviet Union, not Russia. The Soviet Union does not exist.
No, when Russia said there will be a country and they collapsed for the Soviet Union and all that stuff, they said these guys cannot ally with you. You're not listening. I don't know the exact year. We can go look it up. This is what that's all about.
Okay, this is not going to be another night like it was last
That's just not true, right? Like you're talking about prior to the collapse of the Soviet Union. Okay, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah. Hello, are you there?
Yeah, I was just getting a drink, sorry.
Okay, but I mean, do you acknowledge that, like, that was not anything that holds us to that? We're not held to any document like that today. And Russia literally broke the Budapest Memorandum. We did have an agreement called the Budapest Memorandum, and Russia has broke that one.
They broke a lot of agreements.
Yeah. So like, why are you going to bring up an agreement and be like, oh my God, the U.S. broke this agreement or something? Even though, by the way, you're not even actually representing that correctly. When literally Russia's broke every single one of these fucking agreements.
Yeah, what I'm explaining, that's what the whole Ukraine thing is going on, is because of all that.
No.
They've been going on since the 90s, this fight.
No, it's because
Ukraine.
So if you wait, by the way, if you think that's applicable, then you are saying that Putin thinks that he is the Soviet Union.
No, but he has a mentality, and you can go look this up and see interviews and all that stuff. If you're not an ally with him, what are you? You're apparently an enemy, all the countries around him. So
and by the way, can I ask you this question? Then how do you feel about Latvia, Lithuania, and Estonia joining NATO in the early 2000s? They're on the border of Russia. Why did that cause conflict? Why did they invade those countries?
But that's what I'm trying to explain. They're surrounding Russia. So if they're not an ally and Russia can't join NATO.
Since Russia's invasion of Ukraine, Finland has joined NATO. That's on the border of Russia.
I understand. They all are surrounding Russia, like I just said, and Ukraine's the last country.
Why are these countries joining NATO? Because they're scared Russia's going to invade them, dude.
They're not.
If Russia wasn't going to invade them, why would they join NATO?
Why do you think they're having the fight with Ukraine? Because now they're going to invade Ukraine.
No, answer the question. Why would these countries join NATO if they weren't at risk of being invaded?
Because they got deals or whatnot.
Okay, so I'm telling you, the reason why they're joining NATO is because they're at risk of being invaded, okay? That's the reason. I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't think he would do it. He has better things to do.
You're saying
something else.
Russia invaded Ukraine because they didn't want NATO to join, or Ukraine to join NATO. One, they
Ukraine
weren't joining
thing?
NATO. Two, hell, they should have joined NATO. If they did join NATO, it would have prevented the war.
Ukraine
Unironically,
is just a
Finland
show, by the way.
and Ukraine should have been in NATO.
Like, if Russia wanted to, they can go in overnight and take Ukraine. If they wanted to.
Then why haven't they?
They could, buddy. Trust me.
Then why haven't they? No, they can. Why haven't they?
They have the best tanks in the world. You can go look that up. They'll go in and take it over overnight.
Then why haven't they?
The only country that still develops tanks till this day. America doesn't even do it.
Can you answer the question? Why haven't they?
And refit them and remodel them. And that's from the 80s. Russia,
why haven't they then?
Because
tanks are not the only aspect of warfare, especially in the modern era.
I'm saying they can go in there and take it over if they wanted to. But
No,
it's
they
a
can't.
show.
Then
It's
why
a
haven't
show.
they?
Because they want them to surrender.
I don't think you're fucking understanding the son.
That makes no fucking sense. You're saying they can force them to surrender, but they don't do so because they want them to surrender. That makes no fucking sense, dude. Use your brain for one damn second. Wait, was that your mom critiquing you for the stupid shit you just said? That's diabolical. That's diabolical, dude. W mom, I guess? W mom, I guess? Critiquing him? I don't know what she said or anything. Sounded like maybe she was critiquing him. Hello, are you there, man? Mitch, are you there? Did Mitch's mom take his phone? This who I am. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the $20. Thank you so much on YouTube Super Chat. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Thelma, thank you so much for the $5 on PayPal. Thank you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. I know it takes so long. It's ridiculous. Drake, thank you so much for the $5. Amanda with the $25. Thank you so much on PayPal. Thank you. Susan, thank you for the $25 on PayPal as well. Thank you so much. Colleen with the $30 on PayPal. Can we get some W's for Colleen in the comment section right now? Thank you so much, Colleen. As well as Alex, thank you for the $5. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. I hope that establishes some good seeds there. Courtney as well. Thank you for the $5. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Get some W's for them in the comment section right now. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Totally agree. Seriously. Valerie, thank you for the $20 as well. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Get some W's for them in the comment section as well. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the $20. Let me read the whole message because I can't quite see it. Oh yeah. That was because the older guy got really mad at that. So can't be under 30 anymore. Jessica, thank you for the $10. Thank you so much. And Anna, thank you for the $20. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Get some W's for Anna in the comment section right now. I really appreciate it. Thank you. As well as thank you for the 5 membership subscriptions, Malachi. Thank you very much. I think he literally did have his phone taken. Where'd he go? He's actually gone, chat. If you're on YouTube, hit that thumbs up. If you're on TikTok, tap that screen and help get it out to more people. W mom for taking his phone. Jesus. He's in trouble now. You can't say such stupid shit in the household anymore. We'll leave him there. Just give him a minute. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
18.
Do you support Trump?
Yeah.
What's your birth year?
07.
And if you could go back in time and you could either vote for Donald Trump or Kamala Harris, who would you rather vote for?
Trump.
Okay. And why do you support Trump?
Because he's such a kind soul and gas prices are down.
Sorry, I thought they were trolling for a second. Would they like to send a guest request back? I really apologize. I don't know why for a second I thought they were trolling. Like, I don't know. I heard kind soul and Trump and, like, genuinely thought they were trolling. So, what was their name again? Everyone, I actually, like, I'm sorry. Like, I just immediately thought they were a troll. What was their name, Chad? I actually don't even remember. Kind soul. Like, it's just a really diabolical thing to associate with Trump. Real G in the comment section. You spam my comment section and say that you think I'm paid by the DNC. Why don't you ever accept my guest requests? All right, continue, Gary. I apologize. You said he's a kind soul?
Okay, yeah. So, well, I was joking about that, but gas prices are down very good. That's a good part.
Okay. You said gas prices are down. So did you know it's down by like around the same that it went down between the years of 2023 and 2024?
Yeah.
So what did Trump do to cause this?
He's gonna get Greenland, get all the oil, etc.
So that hasn't happened, and it's not going to happen. So why did the prices go down then?
Because of 6-7.
Wow, that was like the funniest thing that's ever happened on the stream, bro. Oh my god. That was like so funny, dude. Wow, like everyone's really laughing. By the way, the only reason people are going to laugh there is because I just made fun of how fucking unfunny that was. Like it's actually funny how unfunny that was. It's almost comical how embarrassing that was. Like, Jesus Christ, dude. That was brutal, man. Like I can't imagine doing that. Like the level of cringe that I experienced through the fucking computer is unbelievable. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
49.
Do you support Trump?
Yes.
You have a little bit of a feedback and an echo. Is there a way you can get rid of that real quick?
I'm on speaker.
I think you're good now. Okay. Why do you support Trump?
Well, there's lots of reasons why I support Trump. Number one reason is all the lawfare that was used against him. I, for one, believe that he won the 2020 election. There was just too many issues that went on that I found to not be true.
Really? So explain to me how the Democrats could steal the election in 2020 when Trump was president, but they could not steal the election in 2024 when when Biden was president. Sorry.
Well, I think that they didn't want to do it that time because they knew that they were going to get caught. They knew that the Republicans and everybody else was on top of it. And there was a lot of anomalies that didn't happen this election that happened in 2020. Like when they closed down voting polls early during the night because of a supposed flood. It wasn't even a flood. It was an overflowed toilet. And why did they block the windows? And
you know that literally toilets can cause floods.
A freaking toilet. A toilet. It's a toilet.
Yeah.
All you got to do is shut the freaking water off. Yeah. All you got to do is shut the water off to it, and you mop it up. You don't have to close the polling station. And why did they? It
depends on the context. I'm not familiar with the exact context. If you'd like to send me a source on like specifically how bad the flooding was, I'd like to see.
They just reported that they had to close the polling station due to a flood, and then come to find out later it was just an overflowed toilet.
Where did you find that out from?
All you got to do is shut the water off to the toilet and mop it up. It's not a big deal. That's why they have janitors.
Where did you find that from?
And another reason,
where did you hear that from?
It was all over the news.
Where?
It was all over the news. What do you mean where? News. Let's see. ABC reported it. Fox reported it. CNN
can you give me
reported
like a title of an article maybe?
No, it was a while ago. And like I said, it was all over the news. And pull out your stupid book. That's cool. Anyways, why did they have to blank out the windows? Why did they blank the windows out on polling stations?
Here's my question, though. You said that they thought they were going to get caught. If they didn't get caught the first time around, why would they get caught the second time around?
Oh no, everybody was all over on this time. They didn't even want to try it this
How
time.
so? How were they more over them this
Do you
time?
did you notice? Do you notice any difference from the 2020 election to the 2024 election?
Yeah, there was literally a fucking pandemic happening in one situation, and there wasn't in the other. Crazy take, right?
No, no,
Wow.
no,
Oh my God.
no.
It's
What I'm
almost like there
talking
was
about,
literally a pandemic.
what I'm talking about is there was no early closing at the poll stations due to a supposed flood, and there was
I don't
no
know what
blanked
source you're
out
mentioning is
windows
saying
at polling
that.
stations. Why can't you answer the question? Why did they blank out the windows at the polling stations?
I don't know what polling station you're referencing. I'd like to hear what specific one, and I can tell you why they
What?
did that.
Come
I do
on.
not know.
Were you were you living under a rock then?
No.
They were all over. It was in Pennsylvania. It was in Ohio. It was several different states. Georgia. They were all different states that had windows. They had like I don't know newspapers and stuff like that, and they were covering the windows in the polling station where the polling I don't know, referees or witnesses, I can't remember what their title is, but they have to verify that each paper ballot goes through the machine and stuff. So it was just a lot of things that made me
The
believe
only
that
source for this
it was
information is
stolen.
quite literally the Daily Wire.
Okay, I don't know. I don't know sources. All I know is what I see with my own eyes on the TV. So on the news. They
And it
all
only
reported it. I
and the
can't
only
believe that
claim
you
is
were
just in
playing
Detroit,
yesterday.
by the way.
Okay. And that's
Like
the only
there's
claim.
no other
That's the
claims of
only
anywhere
place
else.
that blanked out the windows. They only
Yeah,
blanked
there's
out the windows
literally
in
no
Detroit.
other claims of
Is that
it.
what you're saying? So why did they do it then?
Again,
Are they trying to hide something?
let me see this. I only get this from the Daily Wire. Let's see what they specifically say. Um,
Fox News
they
was
just
live.
reported on it.
They reported it live.
Yeah. So there were
Because I was watching
people
the
trying
polls.
to break in or something? So, here,
No,
city police
I don't
officers.
know.
Okay, how about this? Both political parties had surpassed the law mandated maximum of 134 challengers, with more than 200 each, when election workers told GOP challengers that the party had hit its limits. Some began shouting about unfair process and lack of transparency. Unidentified election worker shouted back at the group was its maximum size. City police officers then locked the doors following the altercation, limiting those who could enter. Challengers then proceeded to knock on the windows and doors, looking into the rooms where ballots were being counted. And election workers covered some of the glass with cardboard and poster board.
Okay. So that just proved my point right there that they were trying to hide stuff.
No,
And
that's
what about the
quite. Wait, by the way, you
suitcases?
said they tried to hide stuff. This was all filmed, by the way. They had films. They
Yes.
had footage from inside of it. This film was literally reviewed,
Yeah.
and there was an audit on this particular, or particularly within like the Detroit area, right? Over all of that information. So none of the audits and the court cases
Okay.
indicated sufficient evidence to overturn the election. This is a literal nonsense point to say that is the basis of the election being stolen.
What about what about the suitcases, the ballots that were switched out
So
once
all of
the
this, all of these had court
supposed
cases.
flood
None of them
happened?
had sufficient evidence to overturn the election. So if you'd like to point to me to a single court
Okay.
case that indicated sufficient evidence to overturn the election, I'd love to see it.
No, I don't have that.
So if you
These
don't
are
have a
just
single
my
court
opinions.
case indicating
Another
that, then
thing
why do you
is,
believe that?
well, no, I'm just saying it was my opinion. Is what I seen is what I viewed with my own eyes. The night that the polls were being counted and they were being tallied up, I watched it. They, like I said, they closed polling station due to an overflowed toilet. They closed polling state or they blocked windows off at polling stations. I mean, it just made it look and appear that they were hiding something. I don't understand why. Because it didn't happen in 2024. It didn't happen in 2016. Didn't happen any other time. It just happened in 2020, which is kind of
There
weird.
was a global pandemic, and
But
also, by the
another
way, there
reason
has been
why,
situations, right, in the past where specifically things like this have been happened, and election results have been questioned. And again, They've been questioned and investigated, and the person specifically who was questioning them didn't do what Trump did and tried to undermine our democracy when there was no evidence indicating that they won. Again, none of these court cases indicated sufficient evidence to overturn the election.
This all happened before that. This all happened before that.
You have no evidence to believe that this is true. You just believe this based upon claims.
I believe it on my own viewing. Okay, I base my opinion on what I see and hear. Okay.
Yeah, and not based upon the evidence, clearly.
To get past the elections, I believe all the lawfare on Trump was unjust as well, and that happened under the Biden administration. And now you guys are crying because he's playing lawfare against you guys.
So what lawfare was targeted towards Trump?
And that's what I like. What do you mean, what lawfare? Where do you want me to start? The Eugene Carroll case.
That's not lawfare. That was a legitimate case that he was held liable for.
Okay, and how was he held liable?
In a civil court, amongst a unanimous decision of 9 people in a jury, and you understand that Donald Trump's lawyers were a part of that jury selection process.
Well, yeah, they discounted several of them, and they had to accept a few more. Yeah, I understand.
They did not discount any of the fucking what's called the jurors.
They didn't take multiple. They did. They discounted. They said they.
No, I'm talking about the ones that specifically were in the. Wait, let me clarify.
Let
me clarify. I'm talking about the ones that specifically were inevitably selected. There was a selection process, and they chose which ones they wanted, which ones they didn't want.
Yes.
Right, and of the people who were selected, those were obviously people that were less likely to be biased, that were in circumstances where they were going to make accurate determinations, and they made a determination that Donald Trump sexually abused Eugene Carroll. I mean, hell, Donald Trump bragged about this stuff himself. He said he grabs women by the vagina without asking. That's literally him bragging about sexually assaulting women, and you still support this guy and think he didn't do this?
You know what? When he's the celebrity that he was, I'm sure he could do a hell of a lot more than just grab women by the vagina.
Yeah, without asking? No, you can't do that because you're a celebrity. That's still rape if you're a celebrity.
No.
That's still sexual assault.
No, I understand that. And that came out in 2016. That came out in 2016.
And you shouldn't have supported him then.
But everybody else did, and he became president over Hillary.
That doesn't... Wait, by the way, he didn't get more votes than Hillary, though.
How did he win?
Because of the Electoral College.
I know, and you guys hate that.
Sure.
But my point is when did this supposed essay happen?
1995 to 1996, and not supposed it did happen because the fact that the civil court determined this. There were 26 plus people that have accused Donald Trump of sexual misconduct. There's a credible accuser of Donald Trump in the Epstein files.
Where was Trump? Where was
in
Trump?
1995, 1996?
Yeah, where was Trump?
New York.
Okay. Was he in politics?
No.
No. So why wait until 2020, what was it, 2023 when that court case came out?
2019 when they brought charges against him. She talked about it, and then he was held liable in 2023.
Oh, she talked about it. Well, hold on. Yeah, she talked about it, but there was nothing done about it. Nothing done about it.
Victims don't come out right away, and that's not a reason to believe that this didn't happen to them.
Until after New York. Hey, I was speaking. You're being rude.
I apologize.
You know what? They didn't do anything about him until way after he was president. Why?
Yeah, so I was going to tell you. So it's because of the fact that she didn't want her parents to have to deal with the harassment of people specifically not believing her, people not believing her, right? She didn't want to have to talk to her parents about the fact that these things happened. And these particular types of social pressures that existed prevented her from speaking up about this at that particular time. And especially with the person who assaulted you getting into a position of power, it's totally reasonable for a victim to see that like they would want to come out and talk about this and prevent that person from being in that position of power, given that this happens. But that was the main reason for Eugene Carroll in that context. And again, that's a totally reasonable basis for not coming out right away. Many victims don't come out right away, and that's not a reason that this didn't happen to them. Donald Trump bragged about doing this.
Not
Donald
right
Trump was
away.
held liable for doing this. Donald Trump has been credibly accused by literally victims in the Epstein files that literally had settlements with Epstein, and also accused Trump as one of the people specifically that he was trafficked to by, or that she was trafficked to by Epstein. So we can point to countless examples.
Nothing is going to come of these Epstein files. Nothing's going to come of these Epstein
and
files.
nothing more, because the Trump administration won't release it when literally they've been mandated by the law. So there was already a credible accusation towards Trump.
Trump, what allegations is bullshit. You might as well take a pile of shit and call that an allegation, because that's all it is.
No, there was a credible accuser that literally had a settlement with the Epstein estate.
You don't believe that there's women out there that make accusations against powerful men? You don't believe that for a second?
But specifically,
you're so fucking naive if you don't believe that.
Hey, genius, this is a victim of Epstein that specifically got a settlement with Epstein, that then talked about how she was literally trafficked to Trump by Epstein.
Hey.
They were determined by the FBI to be credible. That's why they got a settlement with the Epstein estate.
I'm just saying, you don't, but it's all accusations. You can't make anything out of accusations. Nothing.
Yeah.
You can
so
be
you
accused.
So you don't believe
tomorrow.
the victims of Epstein?
You can be accused tomorrow of essay by any one of your peers, any one of your female peers. You could be accused, and that's an accusation. Does that make you guilty?
Yeah, women don't just go around doing that. Okay.
It does.
So listen to this.
It doesn't.
Donald
it
Trump
doesn't
specifically.
Make you guilty.
It does, because Donald Trump, they were literally determined to be a credible accuser by the FBI. Okay, because they got a settlement with the Epstein estate.
Listen, you're not listening. If you were accused tomorrow by one of your female counterparts or whatever of essay, that is an accusation, right? You can be accused, but that doesn't make you guilty.
Okay. Donald Trump admitted to doing it himself.
Does that make
he was
sense?
held liable of sexual abuse. He was accused by 26 plus people of sexual misconduct. There's a credible accusation in the context of the Epstein files, literally from someone who got a settlement with Epstein, right? The Epstein estate specifically. So you can't just get a settlement without evidence in this context, especially in this situation.
I heard this story.
So let me be clear. All of that is evidence that Donald Trump has done this. Okay, this isn't just one random person making this claim. This is literally dozens of people all talking about the same things that have happened to them. At what point would you actually accept the evidence? Because to me, it sounds like fucking never.
Parker, I heard this story earlier today, I think on Dean's Live. This lady said that Epstein beat her and raped her and so on and so forth. And she won millions of dollars from a court case, right? Right? Is that the one you're talking about?
Eugene Carroll? Yeah.
No. The other one that is in the Epstein files.
You're talking about the settlement? I don't know if she got millions, but I do know that she got a settlement with the Epstein estate.
I heard that she got millions. I don't know. That's what Dean said earlier. But she also said that Trump forced her to have oral with him, and she bit him, and supposedly he beat her up or something like that. Why didn't she bring a case against Trump instead of going after Epstein then? Why was Trump never charged? Because she told the investigators this. Why didn't the investigators go and investigate that then?
Well, we don't have the documents on what specifically happened with that because Donald Trump and his DOJ are not releasing the files. Okay? No. They're not releasing the files in their entirety. By the way, there are plenty of other people.
This just came out.
There are plenty of other people who have been credibly accused within the context of these files that have not been held accountable yet. Okay? There's countless of other people. Like, literally, Kash Patel said that literally there was no evidence that Jeffrey Epstein trafficked victims to anyone. Okay? That's what Kash Patel...
No better than the others. You keep muting and cutting people off.
Because wait, by the way.
I was explaining to you.
Actually, I was explaining to you and you were cutting me off.
No, you were cutting me off. I was still explaining.
Go ahead and explain what you'd like to, and I'll finish my statements after.
You said that this didn't come out yet because we don't have all the files and stuff. But it did come out because if it didn't come out, then how do we know that she made an accusation against Trump for the supposed essay on forcing her to have oral with him. If that's not the case, then how do we even know that? Because it did come out. It came out because she sued the Epstein estate for millions of dollars. And then she came out and said, oh, Trump did this for me too. And that was never investigated. I wonder why.
We just don't have the files and all of that because Trump has yet to release all of the files in his administration because they said that they're done releasing the files because they wanted to get away with not releasing all of them. So that's incredibly important to take into consideration here because, again, if there are plenty of people who are co-conspirators in the context of the Epstein files that have not been held accountable, even though we literally have seen them commit crimes, okay? We've seen that's in the context of the files. Those co-conspirators should be arrested, should be held accountable, should be fully investigated. And because those investigations were not thorough or did not fully get publicly released yet, does not mean that this is not a credible accusation. This was determined to be a credible accuser. That's why they literally got a settlement. Okay?
Yes, but that's my whole point, is that if we know that she is a credible witness, according to the FBI or whoever investigated that and found her to be credible, who awarded her millions of dollars from the Epstein estate, we know that she accused Trump because it came out. She says that she accused Trump of XYZ. So we already know that. So what we know, why didn't they go after Trump and investigate him for what he supposedly, quote unquote, did?
That doesn't mean Trump is not guilty. Wait, by the way, asking that question. Wait, by the way, it's a question that I would ask, but that's not a question that necessarily entails that Donald Trump specifically is not guilty. Okay? Because there are plenty of other people that we do know are guilty. Please stop talking and cutting me off. You have literally complained about me cutting you off and then cut me off like every single time I've spoke. Okay?
Sorry.
So that does not mean that he's not guilty, because there are plenty of co-conspirators we can point to that were not held accountable. Hell, Kash Patel, your own administration's person that specifically is looking over this, literally said that there's no evidence in the Epstein files that Epstein was trafficking people to any other person. But yet we literally have files that have been released that show that there were co-conspirators and literally show the emails of them literally engaging in actions that are clearly wrong. Like whether it be the torture video specifically, like that's an example, right? We can talk about the plenty of other credible accusers specifically in terms of the people who are trafficked by the person that we're talking about right now. This is all credible accusations specifically that do indicate that there was a specific a trafficking to other people. So they have literally been proven to have lied.
Okay. Still hasn't answered my question on why they never investigated Trump on that accusation.
Dude, I actually directly did. I directly did. I said that that's not evidence specifically of him not committing a crime or not doing something wrong. It's just evidence that they didn't go after him further, and we don't have the public release of the files.
Why, though?
Because Trump's administration is not releasing all of the files.
But if you make an accusation against someone like that, you figured that would be investigated.
We don't know. We don't know how that investigation operated because Trump's not releasing the rest of the files. Why doesn't Trump release the rest of the files to clear it up?
I don't know, but nothing's going to happen with
is it because it incriminates him? Is it because it incriminates him?
No, maybe it doesn't. Maybe it doesn't. I don't know.
Then why doesn't? If it doesn't, then why doesn't he release it?
I don't know, but talking about incriminating, how did he essay E. Jean Carroll?
Can you answer my question first? Because you just said I don't know. You just tried to beg me for how long to give you an answer when I directly did give you an answer, and you're unwilling to give me an answer to a question that you clearly can't answer here. Why doesn't he release the files in order to clarify if it is the case specifically that there was an investigation and it was proven to have been false? He could release those files, and he's choosing not to release those files.
Yeah, I guess he could release the files, and I don't know is my fucking answer. I don't know why he doesn't. I don't know.
Yeah, because it would incriminate him. Yeah,
okay, possibly.
Yeah,
okay,
absolutely. I absolutely believe that. Yeah, the reason why they're not releasing it is most likely because it incriminates him.
Okay, so E. Jean Carroll, how did he essay E. Jean Carroll?
Forcefully penetrated her vagina against her will. In Bergdorf Goodman.
With what?
Either his
With
male
what?
member or his fingers.
Okay. What was the stain that was on a dress?
Unidentified male. So I don't know if there was a specific
Hello?
stain, but there was unidentified male DNA. There were other DNA on it as
Okay, got
well
your
from her
tongue?
friends, but there was unidentified male DNA. And Donald Trump had multiple years allotted specifically to give up his DNA, and he chose not to give up his DNA in the multiple years allotted because, again, it would fucking incriminate him. It would prove that he was at the scene of
Yeah.
the crime. He said they never met. He said that he wouldn't have sexually
Maybe,
abused her because she's quote
because
unquote not his
I
type. But then in a
don't-
deposition, he mistook her with his ex-wife, and there was a picture of them shown together.
That means nothing.
It does. It means everything.
Didn't she testify that it was supposedly his finger that penetrated her?
No, she said that she doesn't know whether it was his finger or his male member.
Hello? Oh, it's lagging again.
Yeah, that's you.
You're lagging. You're like totally
That's actually you. I'm pretty sure I'm fine. Chad, I'm good,
frozen.
right?
Yeah, your internet does suck.
No, that's actually you, dude. Ironically enough, that's not my internet. MAGA Mobile. Hey, that's your MAGA Mobile, buddy. Everyone else thinks my internet's fine, so that's actually you, buddy.
Your internet sucks ass.
DHO, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you for the $50 on YouTube Super Chat. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. They said, wild that people cannot understand
What?
wanting to not talk about trauma.
Dude,
wild
you
that, quote unquote, nothing is coming out of the Epstein files
You
while
totally
other countries are
froze.
prosecuting folks for it. Literally. Joshua as well, thank you so much. I really appreciate the $50. Thank you so much on YouTube Super Chat. They said, Christ, these election deniers are getting old. A quick Google search showed AP's misinfo about suitcases of ballots and a burst pipe in 2020 return after Trump's Georgia indictment. Nothing but debunked conspiracy theories. Dennis, stop voting.
Hey Parker, you froze like big time. I didn't even hear your response.
Oh, to what question again?
Eugene Carroll testified that it was his
Eugene.
finger that penetrated her. So how would
No.
his DNA be on the dress?
Hey, your lag sucks and your internet is doing atrocious right now. Just letting you know. And no, she testified that she didn't know whether it was his male member or his fingers. But that's like irrelevant to the idea that she was sexually assaulted because regardless, it was rape.
Did you just say that? Did you just say that she didn't know if it was his penis or his finger?
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here.
Why are you laughing at that?
Oh, but she was essayed, but I couldn't tell you if it was his penis or his finger.
Yeah. Why is that funny to
Really?
you?
Did you just hear the words that came out of your stupid mouth?
That's not a stupid statement.
How did?
That's totally reasonable.
How is that? How really?
Yeah. Like, for example, if
Oh
someone was
my-
trying to make up a story that didn't actually happen, why would they say that?
You believe everything.
No,
You-
answer
you
this question.
believe
If they were trying to make up a story, if someone was trying to make up a story, why would they make that point up? Why wouldn't they specifically specify what happened or what it was? Why would they say that they don't know? To me, that actually tells me the story's fucking accurate. But you're too fucking
How?
you're too much of a rape apologist to actually give a shit. By the way, fix your fucking microphone. Swipe out of the app, swipe back in. There's so much feedback on your microphone that I can hear it. It's so loud. Swipe out of the app, swipe back in. Yeah, it is unbelievable. Swipe out of the app and then swipe right back in. He can't do it. I hear an echo from your live stream.
You want me
man.
to leave the?
No, I didn't ask you to leave the live. I asked you to fucking swipe out of the app and swipe back in. You can send a guest request back because apparently you're too dumb to fucking swipe out of the app, dude. What was the person's name, everyone? And also, by the way, Mitch is still in the guest box, but literally has not come back yet. Mitch, are you okay, bro? Did he actually get his fucking phone taken away? Dennis, I'll look for Dennis. Dennis, send a guest request back, man. Don't be scared. Don't be scared, Dennis. Sophie, thank you so much for the $5, by the way. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Let me click onto that. I can't read the whole thing until I click on it. Thank you very much. I really appreciate the $5. Thank you, Sophie. I'm actually due a few days. I do actually remember that. Tonight's the first night I've slept until 5 a.m. on the normal ward, and hopefully we'll be home in 2 days. Thank you so much. You've really helped keep me sane. Thank you so much, Sophie. I really appreciate it. I'm glad that you're doing well and better now. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Keep me updated on that. Definitely do. Definitely do. Jeanette, thank you so much for the $1 as well. Benjamin, thank you for the $10. Thank you so much. Hannah, thank you for the $15. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. I know the guest is a total fucking loser. And then Mad, thank you so much for the $30. Thank you so much. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Thank you so much. Give me some W's for Mad in the comment section right now. Thank you. Seriously, W's for them in the comment section right now. I think he's too scared to send a guest request back. I don't see Dennis. Dennis, send your guest request back, buddy. Are you too scared? Yeah, Dennis ran away, chat. He ran away. He didn't come back. Dennis, just send a guest request back, buddy. Wow, that's embarrassing, bro. That's embarrassing. He ran away. That's crazy. What a runner, Dennis. What a runner. Yo, what's up? How old are you? How old are you? Hey, Real G, instead of just like spamming bad comments about me, would you like to actually like literally accept the request I just sent you and join the live? You just like spread propaganda in the comment section, like literally. That's like all you do. You like spam that shit and then you deny every single request to join my live. To me, it sounds like you're running. Sounds like you're a coward. Sounds like you're not willing to defend your ideological beliefs. That's to me what it sounds like. I have some people to thank on YouTube real quick, everybody. If you're on YouTube, hit that thumbs up. If you're on TikTok, tap that screen. Let's get this next person up here, and then I have a lot of people to thank over on the YouTube. Got to catch up there. If you want to support me, as always, Venmo, PayPal, link tree in the bio, as well as the description of the YouTube, as well as you can support me over YouTube Super Chat. And if Dennis is in the live, send a guest request, buddy. You're scared. Dennis, why'd you run away, buddy? Alrighty, let's get this next individual up here. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen, everybody. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
44.
Do you support Trump?
I do.
And if you had the election today and it was either Harris versus Trump, who would you rather vote for?
Oh, Trump.
Okay, why do you support Trump? Actually, I have a few people to thank, and then we can move on to the conversation. Do you just give me one quick second? Let me go to YouTube real quick and thank some people. Angel, by the way, thank you so much for the $10. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Totally agree. Give me some W's for Angel in the comment section right now. Thank you, Angel G. Trash Panda, thank you so much for the $5. Thank you so much. And no, it was ridiculous. Amber, thank you so much for the $5. Thank you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, I don't know why they would do that. That makes no sense, right? Made me smile. Thank you so much for the $10. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Actually, wait. They were weird. This person was really weird. They made some claim earlier. They said, do not send money to Parker. It's been reported that he utilizes the income he generates, and they made up a lie. That makes no fucking sense. Made me smile. They also said specifically that they literally think that she wasn't attractive enough to be assaulted. E. Jean Carroll. That's so... that's like a really, really weird thing to say. Made me smile. I don't know why you're saying that. Actually, fuck you. You know, people are going to literally send me more money just because you told people to literally not send me money by sending me $10. You actually sent me $30, made me smile. And you told people to not send me money. Not only did you send me money, but other people are literally going to send me more money now because of that. They also said I've been exposed as a Mossad agent. By the way, I say that Israel's a genocidal ethno-state. I don't know why a Mossad agent would do that. Like, literally. And they said that he is forming a more sinister Epstein model network to blackmail ordinary citizens. That, like, literally, like, bro, this person has to be fake. What fucking crazy shit? No way. No way they're being serious. As well as Kira, thank you so much for the $32. Thank you so much on PayPal. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. I will. I got you. I'll make sure to tell Dean that. Alrighty. Apple user, why do you support Trump?
Yeah. So your friend Santana is a racist, a pedophile, and I hope he
Oh wait,
fucking
you're a
dies.
horrible fucking person. You're literally the person that called for his death. Fuck you. I just remember that as soon as he started saying that. You fucking disgusting piece of shit. Fuck you. That disgusting fuck. If you have that person's account, please report that motherfucker. He literally called for Santana's death. It's actually fucking disgusting. Literally trash. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Hey, Parker, 52.
And do you support Trump?
Yes.
And if the election were held today, Trump versus Harris, who would you rather vote for?
I still go for Trump.
Okay, why do you support Trump?
Could I kick back to what you and Dennis are talking about for a minute, buddy?
For sure.
So here's my biggest thing, Parker. And a lot of people, even Stephen A. Smith, other people have said this. You know, when Biden was in power and the Democrats and they had the majority, if the Epstein files were so under demand, why weren't they released at that time? And now everyone that hates Trump, at least they're releasing them. Last I knew, most were released. A lot were unredacted. Okay, you're shaking your head. No, maybe that's not true, but at least we're getting some information. So all those years, is it because he was protecting the Obamas, the Clintons? Why now Trump's doing this and it's not good enough? But before, it wasn't a big deal, buddy. I'll shut up, let you answer.
Yeah, so there's a few things I have to say here. I actually do hold account to Merrick Garland. I think that Merrick Garland did a horrible job in terms of doing the in terms of dealing with the files. I think that's something that was obviously something that I can critique there, and I critique with prior administrations. One thing I do acknowledge is that the DOJ acted independently under prior administrations. So Harris and Biden weren't dealing with the daily concerns of the DOJ, and they were completely independent of that process, meaning that they didn't know about all of this information, okay? There were also like a few considerations to take into account. It was sealed up through 2024 completely, right? Not only that, but there was also investigations into the co-conspirators and literally people specifically and Ghislaine Maxwell in terms of the appeals that also limited the release of the files up until 2025. So there's a few things to take into consideration, but yeah, I don't think Merrick Garland did a good job either. And I actually would critique Merrick Garland and say that if there's anything that they specifically had access to that they did not act upon in terms of releasing, they should have released, and they should have advocated for the release of it. And by the way, I apply that to everyone. Everyone should have been talking about the release of it. I think that's important, and I think it's a great thing to release all of these files. I think that's a good thing to do because clearly there was stuff in these files that had not yet led to charges and crimes being applied towards people, which is clearly something that needs to be addressed.
Right. I agree. I wish all this would have come out sooner. And, you know, being someone that did vote for Trump, even though he can be a a-hole at times, not super friendly, you know, the nicest guy in the block. You know, it seems like whether it was the Russia collusion stuff, whether it was sexual assault stuff, whether it's the Epstein files, whether it seems like nobody bothered the guy one bit until he ran for office. And I see a pattern, Parker, and this is, I think, what that Dennis got, maybe he's drunk, whatever. But it almost makes you feel like people that are in power or have a lot of money or fame, musicians, I mean, we can say Michael Jackson, I mean, the list goes on and on. Politicians, presidents, Donald Trump, okay, I'm going to say this. I'm a father of two girls. I'm not going to mention their age. If someone assaulted my daughter, there is no amount of money that I would go to a civil court and allow them to accept. I would want that person prosecuted legally, rotting in prison the rest of their life.
Let me explain something.
But everyone takes a couple $1 million and says, oh, I'm okay, thank you.
So can I tell you why it was a civil court, not a criminal court? It's because of statute of limitations.
Okay.
Meaning that after a certain amount of years, they couldn't try them in a criminal court. So if they had the ability to try them in a criminal court, they likely would. right? But given that specifically they don't have the ability to, it makes sense that they would go after civil litigation, which can also indicate to other people that through the context of a court of law, that they determine this to be true. Plus, they originally went after Trump in terms of the law because Donald Trump defamed her. So
Right.
she was proving defamation, which she did by proving sexual abuse. So this, not only did the civil court acknowledge that, Donald Trump has admitted himself to grabbing women by the vagina without asking,
Yeah,
which is
I know
sexual
that.
assault. So it's like, I mean, if you believe that he's admitted to it himself, why don't you believe that?
I mean, I guess Parker, you know, the whole, we've heard the term locker talk. I think
Locker room
whether
talk?
it's, or locker room, sorry, thank you. You know, whether it's famous musicians, politicians, famous actors, people with a lot of money, I would have to say a lot of people get away with a lot of dirty things. They just might not
That
know
doesn't
they're
mean they
being
should, and
recorded.
you shouldn't support the people
Well,
that do.
no, you're right. You're right. But also on the side token to that, Parker, is I think because of the fame, the money, the notoriety, a lot of women are more welcome to something like that. Where if it's just a random stranger on the street that's broke and poor, they're definitely gonna be like, "Hey, bro, that's it. Call the police."
Wait,
You know,
no, I think in either way, specifically, the person should be held accountable. Like, by the way, in a circumstance like this, someone who's a victim might be less likely to come out because literally someone in a position of power is less likely to be held accountable. So you understand those are the conditions. And by the way, people not believing them are reasons why people wouldn't come out in that context. And again, that's also evidence that our society protects people who are in these positions of power, even if they've committed these atrocious acts. Okay, so like there's evidence that Donald Trump has done this. Very good evidence. There's dozens of victims that have come out.
right.
I don't, at this point, it's not quote unquote locker room talk. It's not
Right.
that. Even if you're claiming that, that's a insane thing to do because you're trying to normalize this horrible behavior as like something that's like okay and acceptable. And what's typically designated as quote unquote locker room talk is not acceptable, right? Like let's just be totally honest. So I don't know why that's something that's used as in order to normalize behavior and act like it's okay. But I just want to be clear. This is him talking about grabbing women by the vagina without asking. Okay? If you think that people typically in like locker rooms are talking about like stuff they do sexually, that's different than talking about someone admitting to literally engaging in sexual action without consent. Right? Like typically the locker room talk you're referencing is in the context of consent, right?
Or Parker, is it possible he could have been trying to be like, I'm the cool dude, and he was exaggerating?
Yeah,
And it's
wait,
not
by the
true?
way, who says that they're cool by admitting to sexually assaulting women?
Well, I think it's horrible, disgusting, but maybe some guys get off on that stuff. Like, wow, you're so rich, you're so powerful, you can do that. Hell yeah,
Yeah,
I can
like
just
I'm
watch
sorry,
it and-
that's fucked up. The
I
fact that he's
think it's
boasting about
gross.
sexually
I
assaulting
think it's
women.
gross. Yeah, I think it's gross,
But
Parker. I agree on
that alongside the dozens of people that have come out
Disgusting.
about Donald Trump's behavior, is that not enough good enough evidence for you to believe that this has happened?
I'm not saying it didn't happen, bro, but I'm just
I'm saying it
wondering
did.
whether
I'm
it's
saying all the
com-
evidence points towards the fact that it did. And I'm asking you, the dozens of victims, plus him admitting to it, plus him being held civilly liable of sexual abuse, plus the credible victim in the context of the Epstein files that we talked about earlier, is that not all in like together, putting it all together, good enough evidence to
Right.
believe that Donald Trump did this? I think it is.
Yeah. I know what you're saying. It looks like a duck, it walks like a duck, quacks like a duck. It's a duck. I gotcha. But there's a lot of hearsay with famous people that are powerful with a lot of money too. I mean, not just politicians or Trump, but you know what I'm saying. But there's something I want to get back to you on, if you don't mind me. What about the whole election with the Dominion machines? The Dominion machines for the voting, how things were escalating towards Trump, and then all of a sudden a glitch.
By the way, is there a way you
and-
can mute the TV in the background? I just don't want there to be monetization
Oh,
issues.
sorry. Hold on.
And
Hold on,
whatnot.
buddy, hold on.
But yeah, in
Hold
terms
on,
of, I do just want to like, I do think this should be enough of a reason for you to like, you know, say you don't support this. But what was the other point you wanted to make? You said Dominion. Do you
So
think
you
the
know,
election?
get that,
Do you think the
Dennis.
election
You know
was stolen in 2020?
Well, with the mail-in ballot issues and dead people voting because they were technically registered. And remember what Dennis was saying? I did in Parker. I can't recall exactly where. I did hear about them, blocking windows so people that were supposed to be verifying votes couldn't see. I didn't hear about floods. The
Wait, those
Dominion
weren't people who are
machines.
supposed to be verifying the votes. And by the way, I just want to clarify. Like AP News has a specific address on this in terms of all those conspiracies, describing how those are false. Not only have there been no court cases indicating sufficient evidence to overturn the election, but you require so much evidence to believe that people were assaulted, but then it seems like you don't require anywhere near
Oh no, I
that
do.
level of evidence to accept that there was election fraud enough to overturn the election.
I'm just saying, did you not ever hear about these Dominion machines for where you put your ballot in electronically and there was a glitch and supposedly Trump had a good boost going through the night and around 1, 2 a.m., depending time zone, all of a sudden Biden went through the roof? Did you not hear anything
That's
about
because of
those
mail-in
Dominion
ballots. So
machines?
everyone knew this was going to happen. When the mail-in ballots started getting, what's it called, counted, we knew they were going to heavily favor Biden. Why did we know they were going to heavily favor Biden? Because Trump spent over a year and a half trying to get people to be like, oh, don't use mail-in ballots. Mail-in ballots are fraudulent. They're bad. By the way, he voted mail-in ballot and also told people to go inside to vote when Democrats were saying to social distance, and mail-in ballots are a good idea because of the fact that literally you won't be out around people for as long a period of time, and it's better to social distance that way. So clearly, if Democrats are more likely to social distance, and Trump spent a campaign tour literally telling people to not use mail-in ballots, clearly they're going to favor Biden. Like, that's just obvious. Everyone knew this going into the election.
Okay. How do you feel about we're at about roughly last I checked, Parker, 2.7 inflation now?
It's actually 2.4, the last report.
Oh, okay. Well, thank
Um,
you. Even better.
Yeah, so that is a good indicator, but one thing that's not taken into consideration is that it's higher than what it would have been otherwise if Harris were in office, and there's still likely upward pressure that we will see on inflation going in the next coming months. So that will still exist because a lot of the tariffs, the companies that are importing the products try to eat the cost as long as they possibly can, but they can only do so for so long, right? Which inevitably will lead to prices going up. So like that's also something to take into consideration. Alongside with the fact that the main thing that's pulling down that number is gas prices, right? And gas prices have gone down in terms of their costs.
Oh, hell yeah.
But we saw a similar level of decline going into from 2023 to 2024 in terms of gas prices under the Biden administration. And I still have yet to hear anything Trump did to cause gas prices to go down.
Does that have anything to do with fracking or coal or regulations?
Nope.
Insane, bro.
No good evidence that Donald Trump has done stuff like relating to that has led to a greater conditions. But one thing he has done is completely denied science. He got his EPA to overturn a ruling of in 2009 that said greenhouse gas emissions are a threat to humans, which is literally a fact determined by 99% of climate scientists. So he's literally undermining basic scientific fact.
Yeah, I don't want to get into that with you, buddy, because I don't
Wait,
have
do
the
you?
facts to
Oh no,
back it up.
Do you believe climate change isn't caused by humans?
I believe, the Earth in this universe is pretty old, and we have gone through cycles from the Ice Age to, I mean, Parker, who knows whether us little ants on this planet really cause that much damage versus the cycles that goes through
Well, we can see that we
naturally.
set the cycle off balance. That's the point we're making. Is that
I mean,
we've
is
set
it
off the cycle.
possible? Is it
Yeah,
possible? I'm
absolutely.
not going to deny it's impossible. But I think the Earth is a pretty big place that's gone through cycles that has humankind contributed. I can't deny 100%. But if us humans were not on this planet, Is it possible the Earth could still be going through a natural
No, this would not be
cycle?
happening. This would not be happening if humans were not on the planet.
I don't know about that, Parker.
And why do we see it reversed during COVID? When we stopped going out as much and using as much, why did we see things reverse?
Everyone points everything to COVID all the time.
I'm just like, I think that's a pretty good indicator. Like,
all right. Do you feel
and also,
the
like,
borders
99% of climate scientists indicate this to be true. Like, dude, at a certain point, there's enough. Okay, well, you just got a misinformation
what's that?
flag. Bye-bye. I'm sorry. You got a misinformation flag, so I have to go to the next person. It's TikTok TOS. They gave me like a flag for that. So we got to go to the next person. If you're on YouTube, hit that thumbs up. If you're on TikTok, tap that screen. Let's get this next person up here. Please only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed in the TikTok screen. An Earthling, please hop out of my guest box. Hey, I'm not going to accept you up. You can sit there and you can wait all day if you want. I won't accept you up, so don't waste your time. Let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed in the TikTok screen. They're just deciding to stay waiting there. Okay, you know, do what you want to do. Keep supporting the stream. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. As long as you're here, you should tap the screen as well. Tap that screen, and we'll get out to more people. If you want to support me, as always, Venmo, PayPal, link in the bio, as well as the description of the YouTube. As well as you can support me over YouTube Super Chat, you know. Yo, what's up, Aldi?
Yeah, hi.
Do you support Trump?
I do, yes.
And if the election were held today, and you could either vote for Trump or Harris, who would you rather vote for?
For Trump.
Okay, for sure. I have a few people to thank real quick, and then we can move on to our conversation. Benjamin, thank you for the $10, by the way. Thank you so much. I totally agree. Thank you so much, Benjamin. Jordan as well. Thank you for the $20 as well. Can we get some W's for Jordan in the comment section right now? Carol with the $25 as well. They said Norway just arrested former PM due to Epstein connections. Yay, Norway. W Norway in the chat. W Norway in the chat. Max, thank you so much for the $5. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you. I know, right? Actually, liberal dinos, it's their fault. It's their fault. DHO, thank you so much for the $50. Thank you so much. Give some W's for DHO in the comment section right now. Thank you so much for the $50 on YouTube Super Chat. That is so kind of you. Seriously, W's for them in the comment section right now. Again, if you're on YouTube, hit that thumbs up. If you're on TikTok, tap that screen to help get out to more people. Erotica, thank you for the $5, by the way. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Joe, thank you for the $10. Thank you. And I think I am fully caught up already. Why do you support Donald Trump?
I just want to start off by saying that I think I really appreciate, as far as when it comes to people who debate, I think that I appreciate your style. I think that you let people say what they want to say. I've been listening for the past, I want to say, like, hour of those who are debating you, and they are very argumentative and want to cut you off, and I don't really believe in that kind of style of debating. So I really do appreciate your style. I'm going to start my argument with, I think there's going to be a lot of people in the chat who are going to come at me. I have my reasons. I would say right now, if there was any other Republican or any other, honestly, not even Republican, but candidates who were up for, being nominated, I would have voted for anyone else. I'll start by saying that. I don't think that Donald Trump is the best person to be leading our country. However, between him and Kamala, yes, I would have voted for him over Kamala.
Okay. So why is he preferable to Kamala Harris?
Well, for one, I believe that I know a lot of people have. Okay. So I live in California, and there's a lot of things that I have been affected by personally through, I want to say, I can't even put it on, the Democratic Party. However, I'm living in a state that's being led by Gavin Newsom.
Yeah, I live in California as well.
Okay. I personally feel like Gavin Newsom has been failing our country immensely. To start off by saying,
is your issue with Gavin Newsom or Kamala Harris?
It's the Democratic Party in general. And I have
So it's not Kamala Harris in specific. It's the Democratic Party in general.
sure, yes, that's fair.
Okay, so do you judge each Democrat based upon the Democratic Party in general, or based upon them as a specific person?
No, absolutely not. I think I'm just going based off of like right now, like policies and for like what I see them kind of like voting for in the public eye, if that makes sense.
So, like, what specific policies of Harris's do you disagree with?
Okay, so to start off, I believe that one thing that, and again, I'm gonna like, I'm okay to like eat my words. I don't know if these are specific policies that like Kamala has actually backed. I'm going off of things that like I have been, myself or my loved ones have been impacted by directly. So, for instance, I am a special education teacher in the state of California. In 2022, they rolled out all of the, and again, I don't know if this is every school. It was at schools that I worked at. I'm a behavioral specialist. So all of the schools that I worked at, they rolled out gender neutral bathrooms. I work with a community of children who are either mentally or physically very impacted by disabilities.
I just want to let you know this is not everywhere in California, but what's wrong with gender neutral bathrooms?
I'm getting there. There's nothing, and again, like that's fine. I don't think it's appropriate for schools. What happened was I had a student who, had an IEP. Again, just because someone has an IEP doesn't directly mean they have a one-to-one aid. And that gender neutral bathrooms were made available on campus, and the student happened to be coerced into a gender neutral bathroom by a senior male student and was molested. So,
well, I'm really sorry to hear that happened. I don't necessarily think that's only because of a gender neutral bathroom. I think that's because of that specific person. I don't think the gender neutral bathroom caused that. I think it's specifically the person who did that. So that person should be held accountable, and there should be things to prevent that from happening. I don't think the gender neutral bathroom is the cause of that, though.
You're right. It was not the cause of it, but it's creating space for it. That's my argument.
Any bathroom would create space for it under your perspective. Because what about it having gender neutral in the front of it would change whether or not that would happen? Like literally nothing. Because they're both. It's a bathroom and a space regardless. There's nothing different about the space. If you put gender neutral on it or don't.
So what they're doing in public schools, which they're not telling everyone, is that they're putting these gender neutral bathrooms. Yes, I agree. Gender neutral or not is not the problem. What's the problem is it's a one-person stall, and they're putting it as gender neutral so that either like male or female or whoever can go into it, and it has a lock.
So we shouldn't have singular bathrooms with locks?
Not on a public. Clearly, I mean, this is an issue. Yeah, no, I don't.
What?
Okay, when you
we should have singular bathrooms with locks. I think everyone's gonna kind of be like, "What are you talking about?" Like that exists like everywhere around the U.S.
Well, most public spaces, when I go to a bathroom, if it's male or female, there's a male bathroom and a female bathroom, and there's gender neutral, which is totally fine. I'm not against like people who need to use gender neutral bathrooms. My whole thing is
if it's a single bathroom, like there's literally no issue with it being gender neutral. Like I actually don't know what your issue would be with it if it's gender neutral.
My issue is in the fact that it was available to high school students, and
yeah,
that
it's a singular bathroom. Like,
yes. So what I'm saying is that there was a female student who had special needs, who was coerced into that single person bathroom by a male who was, and again, I'm okay to say where I'm wrong, but like it's okay to also like I want to know like what your stance is on this. But there was a male who coerced a mentally
and there needs to be authority figures specifically that can help out people in these situations. That is not the bathroom being gender neutral their fault. Or a single person bathroom. That could happen in a public bathroom. That could happen in a single person bathroom.
That's fair. I want to know what your stance was on that. I choose to believe differently. I don't think that you're right. I think that kind of stuff can happen anywhere anywhere and everywhere. However, I think that in a place like a school, if this stuff is happening, which is more common than not, unfortunately. Again, I work for one school district in Southern California.
Wait, by the way, if there's evidence that you could make a bathroom in a certain way, and say, for example, single-use bathroom or single-person bathrooms led to more assaults, and different structures of bathrooms were preferable, I would be like, okay, that makes more sense. But unless we have any empirical evidence stating that, why would I'm really confused what the point would be.
I'm not going based off of stats or research or evidence. I'm really just going based off of like my own personal experience. Sure. And and call me ignorant or whatever, that's fine.
I guess what was the point of bringing this up? Because was this like liberal policy you disagree with, or like something Kamala Harris advocated for? Because to me, it sounds like Kamala Harris, you can't mention anything that she specifically supports that you disagree with. And it sounds like you just disagree with liberals in general. And I don't think that you should be critiquing Kamala Harris just based upon liberals in general, because then you're saying I can critique you based upon Trump supporters in general. And I don't think that would be a fair criticism.
That's fair. Yeah, no, that's fair. I think when I brought this up originally, it's just one of my main, not arguments, I guess, but it's one of my main concerns when it comes to, again, things that I'm directly impacted by, right? When it comes to, because I do think that when it comes to having gender neutral bathrooms, yeah, it's more of a liberal push to have gender neutral bathrooms in every setting. And which is, again, that's fine. I don't think it's appropriate for schools. That's my opinion. So, as far as Kamala Harris, I will say that, again, do I think Trump is the best person to represent our country? Absolutely not. No, hell no. But I think when it comes to the way that Kamala presented herself in interviews and debates in front of our country, we have to actually accept and acknowledge as a liberal party that a lot of the people who are watching this stuff are not you're very educated. I can tell that. I can understand and I can see that you're very educated, right? Not everyone who's voting is going to be as educated as you are. They're not going to take the time to go and research. And unfortunately, that would be ideal, right? So you have done the research and the deep dive to understand why Kamala would have been a great candidate. However, most people are going to vote off of what is being presented either on the TV, on debates, what's being presented in front of them. And unfortunately, I don't feel like she presented herself in a way that, people didn't have faith. People didn't have, they didn't know what they were supporting or what she was advocating for. I mean, I wouldn't have known if I was, so you think that's fair or unfair for me to say?
That there are people on both sides that aren't informed and that will vote?
Well, that, but also, do you think that Kamala presented herself and was very I'm sorry, Kamala, do you think that she actually was able to fully be transparent about what she was endorsing and what she was going to do for our country if she was elected?
No. I do think that she felt like she had barriers on what she could specifically do based upon her affiliation with the Biden administration. Okay. And I do feel like she should have been able to establish more of a disagreement of what she would do comparative to what Biden would do. And she could have done that without even necessarily completely distancing herself from Biden. I think that's obviously something she could have done. But regardless, right, she was clearly the preferable candidate, right? And her doing that is not a reason to not support her, because being associated with the Biden administration is still being better than Trump.
Okay. So why do you feel like she, because I would love to know, and I'm genuinely, I'm open to be either educated or tell me how I'm wrong. How would she be the better candidate versus Trump?
Yeah. She advocates for policies that are disproportionately going to help the middle class rather than specifically disproportionately help the rich. She wanted to decrease taxes for people specifically who are wanting to have children by increasing the child tax credit to $6,000 for the first year of a child's life, $3,600 through them being 5 years old, $3,000 through them being 18. a $25,000 tax credit for first-time homebuyers for new homes, $50,000 tax deductible for small businesses in the first year of them starting out, a $2,000 cap on pharmaceuticals out of pocket for everyone and for pharmaceutical drugs, alongside a $35 cap on insulin per month for everyone, rather than just for people who are on Medicare. She wanted a public option, a universal healthcare system, which would be cheaper than the current system we have right now. Countries around the world have spend almost half as much as we do per individual on healthcare expenditure and have better average health outcomes. So I think that we could definitely have a preferable healthcare system by doing that. Those are great examples. And whereas Donald Trump disproportionately was raising taxes on lower and middle income individuals because they spend a greater proportion of their income on consumer goods, and tariffs increase the price of consumer products comparative to what would have existed otherwise. If Harris were in office, we wouldn't have imposed these tariffs, and we would have seen a better labor market in terms of job growth, because we saw the worst year of job growth in the past 4 years. We'd see more manufacturing investment, as we saw a manufacturing boom in terms of investment under the Biden-Harris administration. We would see more real median wage growth, as we wouldn't have seen these tariffs, right, making the labor market worse off. And we would have seen lower pressure on prices, which would allow for us to bring down interest rates and make it more affordable for people to buy houses.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, again, yeah. Again, I'm not coming at you as, or anyone. Sorry, I got distracted because I'm reading. This is part of my issue, I think. And I'm always open and willing to learn. Again, I'm an educator and I'm reading a lot of the comments, right? And I'm trying not to, because I'm trying to stay focused on what I want to speak to you. Because again, I think that you're really great at debating. And you give people who are opposing your view a space to talk. But like some of the comments in here are just like, I mean, they're so mean, and they're like, oh, you know, but anyways, I'm not gonna go down that route. I think that is kind of part of the problem, though, is the fact that, like, I think debating like this is so healthy because you're educating me, right? But I'm also letting you know about personal experiences that I've been through, which make me look at things a different way. I think that's like the beauty in debating. But there are people in your comments who are like so off the bat, like, she's a terrible teacher, she's this, she's that. I wouldn't want her teaching my kids. I mean, but there's so much like hate out there. And I want to know, like, where kind of as again, a very educated, clearly you're a very educated politician or debater, where do you draw the line?
For how to conduct myself, it depends on the person. And by the way, there's always going to be comments you could disagree with, or people are going to say that, like, oh, you have an issue with. But the goal is to say, you know, focus on these conversations specifically because that's what you're going to benefit from. And yeah, this is a beneficial conversation. It's really good to have these conversations. It's exactly why I do what I do. I think it's important to change people's minds. And I think that you've clearly shown to be open, right, to the beliefs that I'm bringing up right now, at least to some extent. And I think that's a good thing. And that's why we're having this conversation the way we're having it, rather than some of the conversations that I have with other people where I might be a little bit more aggressive with them because of just how they specifically act in the conversation. But the point I wanted to make is that, like, clearly Kamala Harris had significantly better policy. She communicated this policy, and it was significantly better for the country. And Donald Trump lied. He said that the tariffs were going to be paid by foreign countries, which is blatantly false. The Kiel Institute did a study, and it literally shows 96% of tariffs are paid by the U.S. specifically. Donald Trump said it was going to reduce prices, but clearly didn't happen specifically by imposing tariffs. Obviously, that puts upward pressure on prices. That's literally how they operate. Like, he just straight up openly lied to people. He said he was going to release the Epstein files. He clearly isn't releasing all of them. He said he was going to build the wall and make Mexico pay for it. Clearly didn't do that. He said he was going to do a million things, and we can point to all of the things he said he was going to do and didn't do. At what point specifically would you say is, like, a good enough reason to say, like, you wouldn't support him if he's done all of these horrible things and he's not really doing what he's saying he's going to do? Yeah, and he's making the country a worse place.
You're 100% right. And I think that at this point, kind of, I'm already registered. I'm an independent. So I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. I voted for Biden in 2020. And yeah, I voted for Trump in 2024. I think that I voted out of frustration and out of fear when I voted for Trump in 2024 because of the way that my personal, like, 4 years went between 2020 and 2024 under Biden's administration. And that's selfish, maybe, but like, I don't know. I think that like more people than not should admit when they vote, it's out of selfishness. It's out of their own like personal, like their own personal gain or what they're either going to gain or what they're going to lose out on, right?
Yeah,
And
and what I'm saying is that we should look at it differently. Like, you can acknowledge
absolutely,
that historically speaking, you have looked at it that way, and you can
yeah.
change your outlook on it. And you can be like, you
Yeah.
know what, I should advocate for what's beneficial for the country as a whole, and not necessarily it's just what's beneficial to me as an individual. And even so, like, I would probably say it's probably worse for you as an individual, right? Like, especially
Uh,
for teachers. Like, and to also, I just want to be clear, any disagreement you have with like Newsom or Democrats doesn't necessarily mean that you are closer in proximity to Trump, right? There are plenty of
I
disagreements I
don't
have
believe
with
so.
Democrats, especially Newsom, right? But
Yeah,
I
yeah.
definitely can still acknowledge that he's closer in proximity to me than we see specifically someone like Donald Trump. Although I
I
have
think
massive disagreements with how Newsom's conducted himself.
I think my frustration with again, it's so hard because this is where I'm living in California. I've born and raised in San Diego. Um, for one, also I would like to also state, which again, this is another thing for me where it's a soft, touchy subject, and again, I know people are going to be like, oh my god, but in 2020, I was sexually assaulted, and I was sexually assaulted from someone who was not, I don't know what the right term is now, but a legal immigrant. Someone who was not an immigrant from, or not a resident from here, the U.S. They were from
Well, I'm
Mexico.
really sorry to hear that.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And so when it came time to, again, they were caught, like, it, SDPD was there to find who did it. But however, when it came time to them, like when it came time to press charges, it was really hard to do so because they were not an immigrant from here. So I get really, I'm not a fan. I don't agree with how ICE is going about, yeah, so you're in for a rapist. So, I'm sorry, I'm reading the comments again.
Can I pause you here real quick? I just want to let you know
absolutely.
I believe you, and I
Thank
think
you.
that the person should be held accountable. And I
Thank
think
you.
that anyone who's undocumented that has committed a particular crime like that should be deported on the condition that they'll be put in a prison in another country. And I think it should be easy to put press charges against them. That's something that I believe in. And I think everyone here also agrees with that. Any person who's done something like that should be held accountable to the fullest extent of the law. And the reason why people bring up that in the comment section is because they're saying, if you want to hold people accountable who have done things like this, well, then it should also apply to people like Donald Trump. And I think
Yes,
that it
absolutely.
normalizes conditions like this on a greater extent when you support people like that and put them into positions of power, because inevitably speaking, it will happen to a greater extent in society. And also, I would say is that like we will be able to focus on the people who are coming to the country undocumented, who have assaulted people and who have done the worst of the worst crimes, murdered people, to a greater extent if we aren't focusing on the people who are coming undocumented for a better life and just to support their children. So if we make the legal process
So
significantly quicker, we provide a pathway to
that's right.
citizenship for undocumented immigrants who have not committed a violent crime or bad crime. It will make it easier for law enforcement to focus on those that are actually a threat to the safety and security of our communities, which is the most important thing to do in the very first place, while also simultaneously providing a quick legal pathway for people to go through, which is what we believe in already. So I think that under the process of what I'm advocating for, it addresses every single one of the concerns that you would have with the system while simultaneously creating a better system for legal immigration.
Yeah. No, I mean, again, like it's a trigger for me, but I hear what you're saying. I just want to know again, like, because I don't know how it's been better for any party because under like Obama's administration, there were so many there were so many people who were like, um, undocumented individuals who were, taken out of the state of the United States. The guy, along with, yeah, I just don't know what the solution is with that. And that, I don't know.
Okay?
Sorry. Kind of like, sorry.
It's okay. So go take your time if you need.
But I would like to hear like more feedback. Because again, I'm not like ignorant and I'm not like not willing to hear, like, I am not sitting here and saying like, oh, like I'm like super, super pro Trump, but like, yeah, I did vote for Trump and there was reasons I did. These were my reasons. I'm not saying that they're perfect. I'm not saying that like I wouldn't, like, again, I'm a registered independent. I just feel like in that moment and where I was at when I voted, that was the best decision for me. Do I feel like that's the best decision for me now? Absolutely not. You know, I kind of right now where I'm sitting at is I think that the government in a whole is a joke. I don't think that either party fully, represents any single person. I think that,
I think people in politics do represent people. It's just the people they represent are the worst among us, and typical, like people who are in these positions. And what we need to do is we need to involve ourselves in politics so that the people who are represented specifically are the people who want the best for the country and the best for our society, and not the best for the corporations and for right the elitists, right, the people who are well connected. So that's why we need to be involved. A lot of people, they look at the bad conditions in politics and they say, I don't want to involve myself in this because it's so bad. And I say we should use that as energy to get us involved so that there are more people as a culture within politics that are good, are representing positive values, so that the culture that exists within politics is more likely to shift towards those views. Literally, if we involve ourselves within the political sphere, we can change how that operates. Like, think about it this way, right? If I specifically did that, there would be a lot of people specifically who are Democratic that wouldn't have held the same views as I did to the same degree, because I would have never changed their mind or done this in the manner in which I have. So clearly, I do think that involving myself specifically in terms of being a Democrat, involving myself within Democratic politics, it makes it more well known that these are the types of values that Democrats should hold, right? When I involve myself that way. Whereas if I didn't, the way in which Democrats would be viewed would be different. And the different views that they would have would be different. And I also have the ability in the position I am, same thing with my friends, to be able to influence how people think, to be able to change that, which can also hold the Democratic Party accountable in of itself as well. So it's sort of like a multiple thing here. Like, we need to be here so that we can hold people in our parties accountable when things happen, while simultaneously being reasonable about the fact that although Democrats are not everything that we have and we want from the country, they are preferable. And we have to advocate for the policies that are going to lead to better conditions for Americans in order to be able to use that position to advocate for even better conditions. We're not going to fix everything right away, but we can incrementally change things in a positive manner.
Yeah, no, I hear you. And that's very fair. And again, like I said, like I'm in a very like weird spot, like with where I'm at, when it comes to my personal, like what I've been through personally, versus like, not even versus like, yeah, what I've been through personally. I do appreciate your views on stuff, your education, your intellect. I don't know to this day if I would still like vote, if it was like between Kamala and Trump, if I would vote for Kamala. I don't know what Kamala stands for, again, because I think that if you are watching,
I think maybe you just need to see it, because I just explain earlier, like, a lot of the things that she supported.
You did. But again, like, I think that if you're, again, I'm coming from like just someone who is just like, let's talk about like the general public, right? They're just like flipping through channels and they're going based off of, what's on TV versus like what they're watching, what they're not watching. If they're watching a random interview from Kamala versus Trump, or I'm sorry, Kamala.
Yeah.
Versus Trump, I feel like majority of what Kamala is talking about, it was a lot of rambling, or no?
No, I don't think she was rambling a lot. I think she made a lot of sense, and I think that Donald Trump is the one that rambles. I mean, he said windmills are causing whales to die numbers never seen before. He says Jesus, if he were the vote counter in California, that Donald Trump would have won the vote. You live in California. How ridiculous do you see that?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Donald Trump said if Jesus were the vote counter in California, that Donald Trump would have won the vote in California. You live in
If he
California.
were
Do you
the-
think that's a ridiculous statement?
that he would have won the vote in California?
Yeah.
Yeah, because California, yeah, absolutely, because California is a very blue state. It's always been a very blue state.
So that's a
100%.
ridiculous thing to say, right? So talk
yeah.
about rambling. That's like an incoherent statement. That's clearly ridiculous. He was being serious when he said that.
Well, again, call me stupid, I guess. I don't know.
Wait, isn't
I
that a
don't-
ridiculous thing?
For him to say that,
Mm-hmm.
I think that he says a lot of stupid things. Again, I am not backing Trump, like, as my president. I am just more so leaning towards I'm more conservative. Do I think that Trump is like the poster child for a conservative? Absolutely not. Again, and that's where I wish that, like, when it came to debating, that like we could have like more open conversations with people of the opposing parties. Like, I am not, supporting or backing Trump by any means. I think it's just more.
You kind of are on the live stream right now because you are saying you support Trump. But are you saying at this point in time, though, that you wouldn't, if the election were held today, Harris versus Trump, that you would not vote for Trump anymore?
I feel like I wouldn't vote for either. I couldn't justify voting for either.
Okay. Well, at this point, I would say that we got you to a point where you don't support Trump anymore. That's the goal of the live stream. I would say to keep watching the streams and try to hear me out in terms of my other positions. I do think that our positions in terms of being liberals are preferable than the conservatives. But at this point, it does seem like you're at a point where you would say that you wouldn't vote. You'd pick the couch 2026 so far. So hopefully I can get you off the couch 2026 and get you to vote for Democrats.
And I vote every year. I vote every year. I vote every every presidential
Well, I appreciate you coming up then. Thank you very much, Lindsay.
Yeah.
Alrighty, have a great night.
Bye-bye.
Alrighty, everyone. We're going to do one more guest, probably. One more guest. Just letting everyone know, one more guest for tonight. If you're on YouTube, hit that thumbs up. If you're on TikTok, tap that screen. Helps get out to more people. Alrighty. Let me thank some people over on Venmo, PayPal, and YouTube real quick. Claire, thank you so much for the $2, by the way. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Let me click on it. I can't even see the whole message. I'm so sorry, Claire. Thank you very much for the $2. I really appreciate it. Thank you. They said, realized it wasn't live. Oh, I see you there, Claire. I see you there. Yeah, it wasn't live. I'm sorry. And Angela, thank you so much for the $10 as well. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Get some W's for them in the comment section right now. Thank you. Yeah, I don't know why they did, but thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Get some W's for them in the comment section. Angela, thank you so much for the $15 as well. Thank you so much. Of course, I really appreciate it. Thank you. Casey, thank you for the $5. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I would have. That would have been a great question to ask. Kelsey as well, thank you for the $2. Thank you so much. Diana, thank you for the $2. Thank you very much. And Kelsey, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. That's very kind of you. Thank you, Kelsey. And I'm so sorry to hear that you went through that. As well as Benjamin, thank you so much for the $25 as well. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Sin assault is committed by someone, is caused by a person committing a crime, not the existence of a bathroom label. True. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, Benjamin. As well as Angela, thank you so much for the $10 as well. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. I would hope they would. Shane as well, thank you for the $10. Thank you very much. Benjamin, thank you for the $10. Thank you so much. Thank you. Angela, thank you so much for the $20 as well. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, no, I hope that there's a bit of a reflection there. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, Angela. Dean asked if I've debated Earthling before. Benny, thank you so much for the $2. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. As well as Angela, again, thank you for the $15. Sophie, thank you for the $2 as well. Carrie, thank you so much for the $2. Thank you so much. Benjamin, thank you for the $2. Jeanette, thank you so much for the $1. Hannah, thank you for the $15. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. I think I'm completely caught up on Venmo there. Phoebe, thank you for the $2. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Phoebe. Create some W's for Phoebe in the comment section. Sean, thank you for the $20. Thank you so much. On YouTube Super Chat, I really appreciate it. Thank you. Of course, I always will. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Oh, thank you so much. I'm glad that I do. Thank you so much, Sean. As well as DHO, thank you so much for the $50 on the YouTube Super Chat. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Get some W's for them in the comment section right now. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. And I totally agree. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, DHL. Can we get some W's for them in the comment section as well? Thank you. Autistic Vampire, thank you for the $50 on YouTube Super Chat. Thank you so much as well. Does any find it odd that boomers and Gen X are some of the biggest fans of Mar-a-Lago, despite the fact that they love the show MASH and still ended up in a coal run by an even less attractive? I'm actually not familiar with some of the stuff that you're referencing because I actually have not seen that show and whatnot, so I don't know the references. I'm so sorry. Some people might, and they might get it, but for some reason I don't. I apologize. We're gonna get the next person up here. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed in the TikTok screen. We are just looking for some debates, everybody. If you want to support me as always, Venmo, PayPal, link to the bio as well as the description of the YouTube, as well as you can support me over YouTube Super Chat. We're gonna get one more person on here for tonight, and then we're gonna call it quits for the night. We're going to get one more person up here, and then we're going to call it quits for tonight, just letting everyone know. Let's get this next individual up here real quick. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed in the TikTok screen. We are just looking for some debates, everybody. You, what's up? How old are you?
Yeah, 38.
Do you support Trump?
I do.
And if the election were held today and it was Trump versus Harris, who would you rather vote for?
Trump.
Okay. Why do you support Trump?
Yeah, I support him because he's president, but definitely can't stand the Santana pedo, and I hope he dies.
No, same fucking disgusting person. What a fucking weirdo. Please, mods, if you find that person's account, please block them. What a disgusting fuck. Like they keep coming up and saying Santana should be dead. It's like fucking disgusting. Like literally, what's up with TikTok not banning that person, but they banned me? How many times? Yo, what's up? How old are you?
40.
And do you support Trump?
Yeah, I voted for him.
The election were today and it was Harris versus Trump. Who would you vote for?
Trump.
Okay, why do you support Trump?
Well, personal experience, I guess. I voted against Obama, both of his terms back in the day, and then voted for Trump because at the time seemed like he was looking for the small guy in America, and his first term he got rid of the penalty for not having health insurance, which actually helped me personally.
That was the Supreme Court, not Trump.
Well, I just looked it up. But anywho's, that was during his administration. That helped me out quite a bit. And then, of course, he doubled the standard deductible on single income, and married couples, which also helped quite a bit. So
you said
I
what would
voted
help?
for him and support the standard deductible doubled.
Standard deduction increase? I mean, that's going to exist under Democrats as well. I just want to let you know they supported all the tax cuts applicable to income earners under $400,000 a year. So I don't really see any benefit in the standard deduction given that Trump would be in office versus Harris because they wanted to keep the same standard deduction.
Well, okay, so I'm just talking about his first term at the moment. So
Okay, but we want to compare
second.
the administration now because we're talking about why you support him now.
Well, sure. So, so this is circling back to the question: if I was going to vote again between Trump and Harris, would I vote for Trump?
Yeah.
We on the same page there?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just kind of giving you a little bit of backstory, okay, as to why I would vote for Trump again, if it was the same situation, right? We cool there?
Yeah. If the election were held today,
All right.
Trump versus Harris, who would you rather vote for?
Trump.
Okay, why?
Okay, so during the Biden administration, of course, COVID was kind of I don't know if I can say it, but I'm going to say it anyway, a shit show, right? And I remember as, just a normal dude, having my job threatened by the Biden administration trying to bring in OSHA to force me to get a shot that I didn't believe in. Okay? And it was really putting the pressure on, and I did not agree with that. And with Harris being the vice president at the time, being, that's just guilt by association and all that good stuff. And I was just like, no, I'm not about that. You know what I mean? While at the
What was
same
bad about the
time,
COVID vaccine? And by the way, the
COVID
OSHA mandate was
vaccine-
never in effect.
No, I understand that. I understand that it was never in effect. It was just that he was pushing for it. Okay. There was his speech with the red background and all that good stuff, and he's our patience is wearing thin. You know what I mean? It's getting pretty forceful. As forceful as it could be.
There was no force.
So anyway.
Hey, by the way, that OSHA mandate was a vaccine or test. So you didn't even have to get vaccinated. And it was only for businesses over 100 employees.
Sure. And I work in a business that have over 100 employees. And so basically it was putting me between a rock and a hard place. Get the vaccine and be left alone, or have to go get tested regularly, which is a huge inconvenience. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah, but like if you don't, I mean, then just get vaccinated, bro.
What if I don't believe in it, or I don't? This is it's kind of funny. You're telling me what to do, but yet you support, women's choice of their bodies.
Yeah, what's wrong with supporting choice for women?
What's wrong with me
Because
supporting the choice?
they're
of whether to
non-sentient.
get vaccinated
They're
or
literally
not?
non-sentient.
I'm not arguing that right now. Fuck that. I'm just saying, if you support women's choice, why can't I have the choice whether to get the vaccine or not?
You did have a choice. And even so, you can find a
Sure,
distinction
or-
between them because one affects sentient people, the other one doesn't. You want to put my mom at a greater risk who's immunocompromised because of the fact that you don't want to get vaccinated? Bro, go get the vaccine. Believe in science. Stop denying science for no fucking reason. It doesn't benefit your health. It makes you less healthy, and it makes your society less healthy overall. Do some research, bro. We're not doing this to harm you. Okay, I took the vaccine. Do you think I'm fucking microchipped?
No, I'm not saying that.
So then what do you
I'm
think's
just saying
wrong?
that
Like, what's
it's-
going to happen to me?
I didn't say anything's going to happen to you.
So then why don't you
It's
get
just
it?
the fact that they.
Why do you disagree with
Well,
it?
it's
What's the
'cause
problem?
What the problem is they were starting to try to threaten my livelihood if I didn't get it.
Okay, but why wouldn't
Like
you get it?
there was areas.
Hey, dude,
there was,
why wouldn't you get it?
Because I don't know. It was, well, actually, I do know. I just didn't feel comfortable.
Why?
Getting this vaccine. Why? Because it was being pushed super hard. Like,
So because people wanted you to
crazy.
get vaccinated. The same thing's true for all the other vaccines. Did you get all the other vaccines?
well, I probably got all the vaccines while I was in school, and I didn't have a.
Okay, so then like
what's the
if
word for it?
they push those on
Consent to
you
deny
and you,
it.
hey, you got the well then, maybe we should have just done that with you, because it worked. You actually got vaccinated. You did the right thing. Would you have got vaccinated if that didn't exist? Probably not. You're the reason why these mandates exist. I just want to let you know. Because you
What
won't
mandates?
fucking get vaccinated. That's why. Like, that's why we need these mandates. Because you won't go out and do your
feel
research.
I feel like that. I feel like COVID was kind of an edge case, though.
No, I'm serious, though. Like, you are literally the reason we need mandates. Like, please, bro, just get vaccinated, man.
So you're gonna mandate me get vaccinated?
Yeah, we would not need
Sure.
mandates if people like you didn't exist and literally just got vaccinated. I'm serious. Mandates would be irrelevant. We'd be fantastic. We wouldn't have to do them ever.
So whatever happened to being an American, a free nation of people?
We can have a free nation while simultaneously saying you should get fucking vaccinated because it's reasonable and it's based in science.
So we could be free but forced to get vaccinated.
hey, dude, if you want to engage with society as a whole, you do have to get some vaccines. That's why in order to go to school, you had to take some vaccines. If you want to fucking live your entire life on a farm in the middle of nowhere, go do it. But don't fucking live in society with the rest of us and fuck us all over because you don't want to get vaccinated. Because since Trump's got in office and since RFK has been in the position he's been in, we've seen measles cases increase massively. Why? Because they don't give a shit about vaccinations. They act like it's not a big deal that people don't get vaccinated. They normalize the idea that science is bullshit, which is fucking insane, okay? And it leads to people's health being negatively impacted.
That graph that you pulled up, oh gosh, an hour and a half ago or something like that, was it, the graph went up like, what, 200 cases per month or something like that? Can you pull that back up? My main argument isn't exactly the
It's
COVID
hundreds of
vaccine
cases, yes.
either. Yeah,
But do you
a couple
understand
hundred
how
cases.
do you understand how what's it called? How much it spreads? And it was literally, by the way, it was like a few cases. Like under the Biden administration. Like let me show you. It's actually ridiculous. What the fuck? Why did it like split? That's so weird. It was like split. That was really weird. Anxiety pen. Take a look at this. This is it.
Well, the screen's all small now because, but yeah, if I remember right, yeah, zoom in big time on the left side just to get the scope of the graph here.
Do you see when Trump gets in office and then it just massively increases
Yeah.
after literally nothing?
Sure, sure. I see blue lines that go up, but if you go to the left, you get some context
Yeah, let's go left even further.
of.
You want
Sure,
to
sure,
see more?
but-
You want to see more context? Yeah, let's take a
Oh,
look
yeah,
at more
left
context.
to the-
Look at that extra context.
Yeah, yeah.
An extra
Yeah,
2
I
years
see-
of
I see
context.
that,
Do you
but
see?
If you scroll in on the actual numbers on the left of how many cases are scroll in, please. Scroll in. Nope. Keep it on left. Scroll up. Nope. Keep it on. Go left. Left, sir. Please. Left. Yeah, I see. Yeah. How many cases is that?
Goes up to 300, man.
Where's the graph? Where's the graph top out as far as numerical?
300, if
On
you
the
can
left
read.
side. 300. Okay.
Yeah. On a daily basis, dude.
That's a daily basis.
Yes.
So how many days are represented in that graph?
This is multiple years.
Okay, so a daily basis, multiple years.
Do you see the level of change?
Sure. Where's this?
Under Democrats, when we're like, yeah, you guys should get fucking vaccinated. Trump gets in office. Look at that. The fucking increase literally happens as soon as Trump gets in office, dude. It's so ridiculous, man.
Sure. Yeah. But hang on just a second. So yeah, the graph goes up. Big number bad, right?
Yeah,
But that's
we
not-
don't
that's-
want more people to have measles. Yes,
Sure.
big number bad.
Big number bad. And sure, I can agree with that, but I haven't seen the big push. Everybody getting mandated to get a measles vaccine for an outbreak.
Well, we might have to if this continues to keep going.
Sure. That's but
By the way, it is weekly, not daily. I apologize.
sure. Okay, so it's not as bad as it
This is still bad.
So, well, it's not great. I mean, I'm not going to disagree that but
Literally, Trump gets in office, and it went from fucking 11 cases on a weekly basis to literally the next month, 27 cases, 85 cases, 75 cases, 100 cases in March.
Okay,
And then it went down a little bit, and then it massively shot up in the, again, like literally around the seasonal time to upwards
So
of
measles-
literally 291 weekly cases.
Sure. Okay, now hold up. Let's just do a little thought experiment. I haven't looked at this yet, but what demographic of people are these measles cases affecting right now?
Does that matter?
They could.
Why?
Well, like, okay, so if
Why didn't it impact them
You know.
under Biden's administration?
well, hold on just a second.
Answer that question. Probably because the administration actively believed in science versus now it doesn't. Like, they literally had an EPA determination that greenhouse gas emissions aren't harmful to humans. Like, it's ridiculous, dude.
Sure, but yeah, so measles. So I'm not a professional debater here, so you have to give me a second to do a little bit of research here, because this isn't the direction that I was planning on going. You kind of helped me drag this direction. Anyway, I'm just curious right now. You can help me out. Is measles vaccination still required for public school?
I assume that it is. I'm saying that I think they went from they changed the recommendation basis for it in terms of measles. That's one of the things that they did in the Trump administration. It's also the culture that they have around it, specifically in terms of them not believing in science, like that undermines people specifically getting the vaccine. There's a few things.
Sure.
It also depends on where there's outbreaks. Like, they're mostly, like, for example, in Florida, right? In Utah. There's a lot of cases in South Carolina, for example. And if you look at the cases, the places that have the more cases, it's actually places that tend to have, I think, less restrictions in many circumstances.
Well,
but
I'm just gonna go off. I'm just just putting this out there, a little something that I can see off of. I can more personally, because this is my area, but my state. All public schools, districts in Nebraska are required to obtain written proof of each student's immunization status prior to attending class, and this is 2025. So, yes, measles is required for public school.
So, the point, can I just establish the point for you? That, one, you should fucking believe in science. 2, you should fucking get vaccinated. 3, if you're gonna have a reason to not get vaccinated, at least have a good fucking reason. Like, to be totally honest,
Well,
like,
I mean-
it would have been more reasonable for you to say, like, we don't have long-term data. Or something like that. That would have been more reasonable to say. And even that, you can dispute by saying, like, there's been no vaccine that's been given to the public that has had a particular type of severe impact happen to someone that manifested 6 months after injection. So we have very good data to indicate that vaccines they don't lead to, like, long-term impacts like that just come up out of nowhere.
Okay, so now that I've had a second to think about this a little bit longer, so some of these antique diseases, polio probably being the biggest one, has been eradicated due to vaccines, right?
So more evidence you should get vaccinated, right?
Yeah. If the system was on the people's side, for sure. But they eliminated polio, and
So you admit you should get vaccinated, but yet you didn't get vaccinated, and you were just complaining about the fact that you did have to get vaccinated, which you didn't even have to do. You could have done vaccine or test, and it wasn't even implemented. And it wasn't even implemented, by the way. It wasn't even implemented.
I know it wasn't implemented, but when you sit there and say that, somebody claims that, or okay, so it's the same argument when somebody says that Trump, or you claim that Trump tries to do some kind of executive order or something like that, and then you tell them that, well, the Supreme Court's not going to allow that to happen, and then I sit here and say, well, that's what the Supreme Court's supposed to do, but then you'll say, but it's his intent to do that that's the problem. See what I'm saying?
No, I don't actually. I'm sorry. I really don't understand.
Of course not. But that's cool. Just to go back on okay. Can we talk about so do you want to conclude this particular segment of our discussion, or are you going to accuse me of pivoting?
No, you can stop. One thing I just want to say is, like, for this, there's one person who sent $2 said polio's not been eliminated, it's coming back. There is still polio, but like the point was that, like, the vaccination essentially allowed for it to not exist anywhere near to the same degree that it existed prior. And throughout more vaccination, that would prevent it, of course. Like, obviously, herd immunity is incredibly important at reducing it, which is the point we're saying. Still, vaccines are really important. I have a few people to thank, and then we can continue on the conversation. Nautical, thank you so much. Really appreciate the $5, by the way. Thank you so much. Glizzy, thank you for the $100 on YouTube Super Chat. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Get some W's for Glizzy in the comment section right now with the $100. They said, hey, just so all you know, there are millions of Gen X that despise what America has become. We are one of the first that warned of the fascism with Reagan. You do know the people who opposed Reagan were Gen X, right? I agree many Gen X are awful, but not all of us. I totally agree as well. It's definitely not something that exists across the entirety of all generations. Of course, there are always people that agree with us in every single one of our generations. And I also don't like making things about, like, entire generations or whatnot typically, but obviously there could be common trends that are true about certain generations, which obviously people of those generations that are, like, acknowledging this would also acknowledge as well as true about the other aspects of the generation, but it's not obviously true with everyone. Luke, thank you for the $2, by the way. Thank you so much. Gretchen, thank you so much for the $3. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, mostly affecting kids that are too young to enter public schools. True. Thank you so much. Benjamin as well. Thank you for the $2. Thank you so much. They said measles is one of the most contagious viruses. They said, Benjamin as well. Thank you for the $25 for you know what measles does. They said high fever, pneumonia, brain swelling can make kids deaf, blind, or dead. This ain't political opinion. That's biology. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Get some W's for Benjamin in the comment section. As well, thank you for the $10. We got seatbelts, speed limits, food inspections. Nobody's screaming, I'm an American at a stop sign. Angela, thank you so much for the $10 as well. I really appreciate it on Venmo. Thank you so much. Get some W's for them in the comment section right now, as well as Michelle. Thank you for the $5. And Jordan, thank you for the $2 as well. As well as thank you for the membership subscription. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Nautical. And I think I am fully caught up. Already continue to the next point you wanted to make.
All right, so just to touch on something that somebody else was talking about on your stream, basically just trying to link our fiat currency to gold and silver, and how the de-link of that has caused a huge problem.
Yeah, I don't think it's a problem. I think it's a good thing to have fiat currency.
Sure, and that'd be cool. But I think the frustration that he was trying to get across was, and here's the way I'm gonna put it, okay? And this really kind of makes sense. Is the real currency in our lives, especially our working lives, as far as people, unfortunately have to do the 9 to 5 or the 12-hour days or whatever it is. Your average dude, chick out there, right? Our time is the real currency, right? We put in so much time in a day, and at the end of the 2 weeks or whatever, we get an X amount of dollars that buys us so many goods and services, right? That's correct. The unfortunate thing right now is I've seen this over the past 20 years, and I've worked just as hard as, well, maybe not as hard as everybody else. Did he take off on me?
No, I'm still here.
All right. So anyway, the problem that I think he was trying to get to, maybe didn't possibly get his idea across, is he's putting in the same amount of time as he used to, or potentially. This is my case. I put in exactly the same amount of time and work and effort, actually more, because I have to learn more stuff over years and I have to do more functions over time in the same job or whatever. But ultimately, I get less goods and services for that time put in, at the end of the 2 weeks. Now, the dollar amount, sure, I'm getting paid more dollars per hour than I used to. But to buy the exact same goods and services, it requires more of my time.
Yes, this is why we look at real median wages. And we can see since Trump's got in office, the first year of Trump's administration, we've seen a decline in the rate of growth of real median wages. Under the Biden administration in 2024, we saw a higher rate of growth.
That's interesting because this company that I've been with started out, in 2020. So right before Biden got into office.
So I'm talking about what came from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. One company doing something is not representative of the entire country.
Sure, I understand that, but looking at wages, in my area, it's the same. Nobody pays. You know what I'm saying? I'm not just complaining about one place. It's all the same. They all pay the same.
Hey, dude,
and
it's better to look at the overall economy, right? The Bureau of Labor Statistics. That's the best way of looking at the overall trends in the economy, not just claiming what you've personally seen in your own life.
Sure, you're discounting personal experience.
Absolutely.
And not just a completely.
Yeah, I do not accept that as a trend for economic data. I think that's like a horrible way of measuring the economy.
Okay, sure. So here's a fun experiment. Pick a field. You pick some blue collar ish profession.
Why?
Just a thought experiment. It's for fun. I'm not really here to argue with you. I'm just here to talk to you and have a little bit of fun. So pick a field.
Construction.
All right, sure. You a framer, concrete, roofer, electrician, a roofer. All right. Now I haven't actually looked this up because you made it up. So, what do you think a roofer got paid in 1995?
I don't know.
Well, let's look it up together. Let's have some fun. All right.
Why don't we just look at real median wages? Do you want me to show you real median wages?
Let's look at a little bit of history too.
Yeah, I'll give you real median wages. Over the past, fucking 40 years?
1995, sure.
No, this is back to the 80s. Do you see?
Okay, sure.
Real median wages, right?
I can't see that because I'm on a phone. Okay.
By the way, this huge stagnation here, Reagan trickle-down economic policy. Okay. We saw an increase here after Obama's second administration. It started massively increasing. Then Trump had the carryover from the same administration in terms of the trend. And then it was increasing under Biden at a massive rate. You see 2024 massively increasing, and then Trump gets in office and it decreases, and then it increases, and then stays stagnant. And the increase that we see overall throughout the entire administration, right, is literally only by, 2 there? After we saw it go from 365 to 374. So up 9 in 1 year. So that's a multiple times
Okay.
difference. Oh, sorry, you can't see it on the TikTok. I apologize. Multiple
Yeah,
times
yeah, yeah.
difference. Right here. Multiple times difference. You see right here when Trump gets in office is right here.
See, this is what I'm talking about.
Or not when he
I
gets in
think.
office. This is from his first administration because the first quarter ends like 3 months into his administration. So when he got into office, it was here,
So
and then
yeah.
it specifically went down to there, and then it went up to 376, and then stayed at 376. So it didn't even increase.
Okay, hold on just a second.
After
So
we
I
saw a
think-
massive increase in
give me a-
Biden.
Okay, and you're talking in dollars, right?
And by the way, this peak right here, this is COVID. It's artificially high because we gave people higher wages during the pandemic.
Sure. And they printed money and just devalued the rest of everybody else's money.
Like
At
this
the
is
same time.
actually where it was prior, 362, which continued around
That's
here in
fine.
quarter one 2021. There was inflation which caused it to not increase with inflation, and then we saw increase after 2022, and it carried over. There was continual trend up, and that trend has stagnated since Trump got in office.
Right.
So I don't understand why you think Trump's preferable for wages, for example. You look
I
at
didn't say it
the
was.
job growth. You see that we had the worst year of job growth in the past 4 years.
Did I say that Trump was better for jobs or wages? What I said was I can understand kind of what that guy was trying to say with the devaluation of the dollar versus silver and gold. And I said ultimately what I say is your time is the ultimate currency, and your time gets you less goods and services now than it did. We're talking historically.
Okay. So, why do you like Trump?
Why do I like Trump? Well, okay, that's a good question. I liked Trump. It started off with Biden and Harris really putting the pressure on for the COVID vaccine. I mean, like really putting it on, threatening the livelihood of just average people, whether or not to get the vaccine and you're good, or you were required with inconvenient.
You literally were
and
not
expensive
mandated.
Weeklies. I understand that. It didn't go through. It didn't work, but it doesn't stop the fact that they tried that, right?
So, like, you're okay with Trump trying to undermine the 2020 election, pardoning violent rioters who beat police officers, calling them patriots, calling for the termination of all rules, regulations, and articles, even those found in the Constitution, and you won't bring up the fact that he tried those things. But the Democrats tried to do a vaccine or test, and that's the disqualifier.
Okay, so I told you that I voted for Trump, right? And I told you that I would vote for Trump again if it was the same scenario, right? But here's the biggest thing. We never got through our wages thing. Anyway, nowadays the situation is, especially, you're probably, I actually haven't heard you talk about the Epstein files that much, right? But the disgusting thing is everything that's coming out in those files is kind of getting me kind of disgusted with the entire system. I don't know who to trust. I don't know who's good.
So you don't
who's
support Trump
bad.
anymore?
I would vote for him again if it's the same situation.
Even though he's protecting PDFs in the Epstein files? Even though there's a credible accusation against him in the Epstein files?
Like, hold up. Now, with Trump being elected, because this is like a cause and effect. He got elected, right? And, now that he's elected, there's so much hate from Democrats to Trump that I feel like they're pushing this
Epstein files thing really hard, and because he got elected, it's starting to really come out to fruition, right? Would you agree with that?
No, they said they're not releasing all of them, and they're done releasing them.
Well, they're gonna try to force them to.
Most
And
of
you
them are not
probably think
released.
they should,
By
right?
the way, we've already had a legal mandate to release it, and they're not
Mm-hmm.
abiding by the legal mandate. They've already been violating the law because they haven't released all the files.
Mm-hmm. And how do you feel about that?
He's protecting PDFs. That's horrible. You should stop supporting him right now.
And I agree with you.
Okay, you don't support Trump anymore?
Oh, hold up. Can I say one more thing? Anybody that's seen these files, they're politicians, and there's lots of them, right? Can you disagree with that? Politicians, movie stars, and all that stuff, they really need to do a full investigation of these and get to the bottom of everything. What bothers me now, this is why I want to talk to you, is to think that we allow these people to govern us is crazy.
Yeah, so stop supporting him.
Sure.
Totally agree.
But what I can't, that doesn't mean I just go straight to the Democrats and blindly support them either.
Okay, but Harris wasn't in the files. Biden wasn't in the files.
Sure, but they also put me in the rock and the hard place with the COVID vaccine.
Alrighty, man.
Are you getting what I'm trying to say?
No, man. I actually don't. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, man. I think that's such a ridiculous reason to say that you would be willing to vote for Republicans, and vote for the people that protected PDFs in the Epstein files. You should clearly at this point say you don't support them.
So what I'm saying is it was a catalyst to get a lot of stuff out. Okay, it's a history thing. Okay, now I want to Okay, so let's back this up a little bit more. So during Obama, he enacted his administration. I can't say him.
So wait, are you justifying his administration because a lot of stuff came out when he's purposefully not releasing it?
Well, no, because during Trump's first term, he actually did a couple of things that were pretty cool for average working dudes. One was during his administration, can't say it was just Trump. During his administration at the time, he got rid of the penalty for not having health insurance, forced again by Democrats to buy health insurance.
That was the Affordable Care Act set up, and that particular part is one Republicans wanted. I just want to clarify. Alongside the fact that I would like a public option where we all get no copay, no deductible, no premium health insurance. We're all taken care of, and we pay for it through taxes. That's preferable. I'm about to get off right now. Is there any last words?
Okay, just a question. What portion of your taxes would you suppose? What percentage of your income? And whose income?
Sorry, what did you just say?
I was just asking what percentage of your income and or whose income is paying for this universal health care.
Oh, well, similar to what they have in other countries, right? Like
Which
okay.
is?
I don't know the particular percentage that we're going to rely on in terms of income tax. I know that Bernie's plan was only a 4% increase.
Oh.
Yeah, only a 4% increase so that you have no healthcare expenditures?
So does that make all doctors and hospitals and
Yeah, literally no copay, no
pharmacies-
deductible, no premium.
No. Hold up just a second. Does that make all hospitals, doctors, I don't want to say pharmacies because they're not the ones that sell the drugs per se. They're just the middleman. Those all public property, basically, municipality, more or less. They don't get to choose their prices or anything.
I'm just going to kick him and get off for tonight. I said one more thing, and then he just went on to a whole different thing. Have a good night, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for coming through. I will be on tomorrow, everyone, earlier in the morning, 9 a.m. Pacific time, just letting everyone know, 9 a.m. Pacific. I'll be on bright and early, everybody. Bright and early. Thank you, everyone, for coming through. I will see everyone tomorrow. If you want to check out my YouTube video, I'd really appreciate it. Thank you very much, everyone, for coming through. Have a fantastic night. I'll see everyone tomorrow morning.